All right, everybody, welcome. It's the 17th episode of the Super Magic Show, the Geekdom101 Super Magic Show. I hope you are having a great Sunday. It's January 26, 2025. So we got a great show for you today. As I see some of y'all filing in, hope you guys are doing great. We have got a great show for you today. A great show. So here's what we're going to be talking about today. The reason why this is called the Super Magic Show, I came up with the name back when I first found out about Dragon Ball Magic before it was renamed Dragon Ball Daima. And basically, here's what's going on. So I call this Super Magic Show because it's going to be about Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Daima, which is magic. Obviously, we'll talk about old school Dragon Ball too, but on this episode of the Super Magic Show, we'll be talking about both Super and Daima. We're going to be recapping and discussing our thoughts on the last Daima episode and really the last 3 episodes that have left a lot to be desired by a lot of the fandom. And we'll also be talking about the Super chapter, which is now officially coming. It's officially coming. In February. We'll talk about that. And then me and my guest are going to be discussing the Dragon Ball Super Demon Realm arc. How will Super tie into Daima later on? We got some ideas, and I think you're going to really appreciate it. Him and I came up with 3 different plot pitches for what they could do to tie back into Daima. So Johnny Topside said that hat is sick as fuck. Yeah, do you want it? Go get it right now in the Geekdom101 store. Check any video in the description. Click the merchandise store and go get this hat or a shirt. This is not one of my shirts, but shirts, hoodies, whatever you want, get it because there you go. All right, let me go ahead and bring on Star Blast Studios. Welcome, Heesh.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thank you for having me on, Danny.
Yes, thank you for coming on such short notice. Originally, I planned to have SS4 Goshen on, but she's busy for the next couple of weeks. And actually, I had her booked for February 9th until I looked and I realized, oh no, it's the Super Bowl. So we're probably not going to have a stream on that day. I want to, hold on. Real quick, I want to address this. Geekdom, who wins? MUI Goku versus Gogeta Blue, post-TOP. Lucky for you, I've got a video already on that. Check the Geekdom101 YouTube channel. We have a full breakdown. The video's called Ultra Instinct Goku versus Gogeta Blue. Already we've done that. So we dropped that video after Dragon Ball Super Broly came out. So anyways, Heesh, the first thing I want to get to, let me go ahead and share my screen because the first topic I want to tap into is I want to discuss the official announcement of, oh shit, I hit the wrong button. I hit cancel when I meant to not to hit cancel.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. So it's been made official on the Crunchyroll app. We already knew this. It was announced all the way back. It was announced all the way back at Jump Festa, but Dragon Ball Super is returning on February the 19th for us over here in this hemisphere. It'll be the 20th for the Japanese. This is going to be the Clean God one-shot chapter. So that's already been announced. But now even Crunchyroll is saying new chapter coming February 19, 2025. Now, what they have not announced yet is they have not announced what's coming after that. Whether it's going to be another like sort of short story or whether it's going to be something bigger with Dragon Ball Super. Heesh and I will be discussing some of our ideas after Daima later. But, well, first of all, Star Blast, what are your thoughts on this Clean God thing? What are your impressions on that?
To be honest, it's a one-shot. It's not going to be one of those things that we've been hoping for, which is the continuation of the story. It's going to be, from my understanding, because it's Clean God, it might actually
mostly comedy.
Yeah, right? It might. For all we know, this could take place before the prequel to the Dragon Ball Super superhero arc in which Goten and Trunks actually meet him
The
or something like that.
prequel.
It'll be a prequel to the prequel because that's what we're doing. We have an interquel to an interquel with Dragon Ball Daima, and we're
And Super.
And Super. Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
so,
oh my God, this 10-year time skip.
I think that they're just. I wouldn't be surprised. It's not really against anything that they've been doing to just throw in another prequel to a prequel of a prequel. It matches. So to be honest, it's one of those things where I think it'll be fun to see. Like if you I'm expecting it to have some of that similar Dr. Slump type of energy that we had with the prequel to the Dragon Ball Super superhero arc. So it might be just like a fun thing to read, but not really going on, with the story, continuing the story, the other Dragon Ball stuff. So it's not really one of those things. It's I forgot about this, to be completely honest with you.
No, and I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not looking forward to it that much because I didn't like the prequel stuff. I didn't like Trunks in high school. I just wasn't a fan of that stuff. It wasn't the worst shit ever, but it just I wasn't that entertaining to me. And they could have done a lot more with that than what they did. I am looking forward to more manga. I mean, that I'm looking forward to just as a fan. And I will be covering this on the channel. But I'll be reviewing it and probably streaming about it. But it's not really like anything big. Now, I did want to address Highball, who says, how creatively bankrupt do you have to be to create one shot on freaking Clean God? Listen to what you're saying, though, okay? Creatively bankrupt is definitely not what Dragon Ball is. If you're going to talk about creatively bankrupt, homie, take your eyes over to Star Wars or some shit, because this is a one shot. It's 1 month. That's like saying, oh, well, the Arale episode of Super's creatively bankrupt. No, that's not what this is.
But
this
I understand why
literally
he says
1
that.
month. No, I do too, but I'm letting him know that it's just a one shot.
But it's not even just that. But it's not even Toyotaro's fault, I would say. The only reason why this one shot's even coming out is because with how uncertain the future of Dragon Ball is currently right now, with the passing of Toriyama, they're very limited as to what specific stories that they could do, in advancing it. So I don't think that they've gotten into that stage in which they can really continue the story. And so this sort of side story with Clean God is one of the ways in which we even get content at all. If they were to do anything crazy that could impact the story, that could have a lot of possible damages.
Well, I think they haven't actually said this, right? But one of the prevailing reasons as to why they're doing the Clean God arc, one of the reasons to why they're doing the Clean God chapter is because they need one more chapter to finish the last Dragon Ball Super volume so that it actually can be released with the full amount of chapters. So that's something that I have not talked about on the channel yet. Now you know. So the reason as to why I'm saying this is because after the one shot, I'm not saying literally the next month, but whenever Dragon Ball Super continues manga-wise, that's going to be a new volume for the compilation. So it makes more sense to put this with the superhero stuff because it's in that sort of time frame than after. Hopefully that makes sense to you in the chat, and now you have a little bit more stuff. Now, I do love what Highball said here. He said, my point is we could have a one-shot on Broly's dealing with his father's death or something like that, just something that builds up these characters. Instead we get Clean God. I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you on that. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. The thing about Dragon Ball, and I'm just going to say it, there's a lot of missed opportunities. There's a lot of missed opportunities, man. There's a lot of things they could do that they don't do. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Dragon Ball is creatively bankrupt. I'm not going to say that because we don't know that yet. I think time will tell on that. But one thing I will tell you is you can't say Dragon Ball Daima is creatively bankrupt, because the one thing Dragon Ball Daima has given us, despite its flaws, is creativity.
Yeah, I will say this, like, again, devil's advocate. It is interesting, I think, to see, Broly, dealing with his father's death or something like that. Something
He's
specifically
just
around
doing that as an example.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's an example, but again, it's like I think that it would be more interesting to see that actual character development so that you can see how people would develop to the specific mainline story that's being told. Like for example in Dragon Ball, we see Vegeta specifically when he goes up against like a high threat like 18 for example, he's realizing he's not the best, he's not all of that. It's not has nothing to do with 18's character. It's him realizing that there's always it like basically going seeing firsthand that even if you think that you're the strongest, that there's someone else out there. And it's the lesson that we've known since early Dragon Ball, but we're seeing the effects that it's having on Vegeta and to why his philosophy in that regard is clashing with that and having to come to grips with that.
Well, sure. And my thing is, and I think I'm gonna actually take this down for a second so we can just be you and me. I'm gonna get back to the Daima thing in just a minute. I think most Dragon Ball fans I've talked to, who I actually have had conversations with, and those here on the stream, would agree with me that if any of us were in charge of Dragon Ball, it would not be handled the way it's been handled for the past, I don't know how many years. If I were in charge of Dragon Ball, I would be working with a new set of writers and Toriyama prior to his passing to come up with an actual, like, longer term storyline. I would have continued what was teased in Super with Planet Sadala, stuff like that. I would look at the analytics of what's popular. I would have made Dragon Ball Super a seasonal anime. If you can't have it continuous, drop 25 episodes of Dragon Ball Super every year and then have it take a break the rest of the year. You know what I mean? That way it gives the animators time to work on other projects and we can discuss it, then we come back to it.
I would like that, but it's not in their control. It's because it's like,
it is in Shueisha's control. It's in Shueisha's control, and they don't do anything with it.
Not so much because it's also because of Fuji TV. It's multiple people's reasoning.
It is, yeah, I agree with you. No, you're right about that. But
I think that it's like thinking of it like, oh, I would have it be done like this, as if they have the ability to make it like that. Like you think that they would?
Sometimes they do though, but sometimes you're right. But I'm saying sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. It just depends. But I mean, the point is that there would be a lot more of a focus on actually continuing the story, like moving the story forward, progressing it. I would be having, thanks to all this shit that Toriyama has introduced, right? I would be having multiple mangas running at once. I would have, or multiple little anime shows. Let's say you can't do super seasonal. Let's just say that. What's stopping them from doing a Pride Troopers 15 episode short anime like Daima, where it shows how they formed and fought some villains? What's stopping them from doing a Demon Realm prequel going all the way back to the days of Rymus? What's stopping them from doing, I don't know, something with the Universe 6 people? There's so much potential with all these characters that have been introduced through Super and Daima for the past, I don't know how many years, right? 10 years, actually. It's been 10 years, and it just doesn't ever, Dragon Ball never hits the highs it can hit, man. You know what I mean? It just, it irritates me. It bothers me. It's like in Star Wars, they've been moving forward, but going in the wrong direction. Whereas Dragon Ball's been in this hamster wheel. And Daima, I've said this before, and you know this, Heesh.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to really understand why Daima exists after episode 18. It's going to click in their heads. If not, I'm going to tell them because I'm planning on doing a video about it. People are going to really get it. And I have no issue with Daima existing. I'm just saying there's so much more they can do. So speaking of Daima, right? We're going to get to super chats here in just a minute. I did the poll. What did you think about Daima episode 15? Pick the closest to your opinion. I liked it won with 59% of the vote. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm zooming in a little tiny bit so you can see it. the thing is, this episode, some people downright hated it. Others just thought it was lame. Others just thought that it's not moving the story forward. And my issue with this episode, I did a whole review on it, so I'm not going to talk. What? What happened to your camera?
I don't know. Sorry, I just keep going. I'll figure it out.
All right. Oh, you're back.
Okay, that was weird.
Okay, that was weird. No, but okay, so what I was saying was, did you see what Red Magic said in the chat?
Let me see here.
Well, let me bring it up. Let me bring it up and we'll discuss it. This is gonna be our main event topic today because he's doing what we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. If Arintu hasn't been collecting the remnants of OG73, I don't know why you're putting hashtags in a chat, bro. Hashtags don't work in chats, bro. Don't use hashtags in chats. It's very hard to read. Mm-hmm. For Dragon Ball Super Combat, maybe she visits Black Frieza with the third eye in order to take over the entire universe. So we're going to be going into that more when we get to the main event topic today. But what were you saying, bro? Like, about Daima, about this last episode, a lot of folks didn't like it. I thought it was the least bad of the previous 3 weeks, but neither one of them, they haven't lit my world on fire since episode 12. But I did like, after seeing it a second time, the sequence where Goku, Vegeta, and all of King Kadan's forces fought, like the way they did the animation, the camera work, that was great. Now, I'm not saying it made sense. A lot of folks are pissed off that Goku didn't go Super Saiyan from the get-go, including me. I said it in my review. Goku with teleportation and Super Saiyan could have wiped that whole army out in one shot. That's the type of shit I don't like. I enjoyed the episode because of its spectacle, but when you look at some of the little things, it does get irritating.
Yeah, I will say this is that when I was originally watching the episode, I did feel like, why don't they specifically go Super Saiyan? And I think, why are they spreading? And the reason as to why while I was watching that, I did feel a little bit guilty. Like, I don't want to be nitpicky, having that, like that energy and such, because it is like, for all intents and purposes, it was still a very interesting episode that was there. It was like, we're getting to see, Goku and Vegeta and Piccolo. Like, even if they were in Super Saiyan, like, yeah, it would make them faster. They would be able to beat them up like quickly as well. But also I understand that they're in a spot where they're trying to conserve their energy and try to be smart about, how they utilize all of it. And so that specifically, I think, was the reason why with Vegeta, we saw him end up having to eat one of those revival bugs, because when you think about it, like, he used up a lot of his energy against his fight with Tamagami number 2. And he didn't really like recover after that. Like, I think that his stamina, like, if there was some gauge, his energy levels were probably not at the amount. Like, even if there was like, some time and period for like a little bit of relaxation and such, they're still utilizing, the bodies of children, which, actually, children have way more energy than adults. Let's be honest with you. But specifically, I do think that, them trying to conserve energy is like the smarter way of going about it. And that's why you don't see them, doing that as much. It's not like the Tournament of Power or any like tournament in Dragon Ball where it's like they have some Senzu beans and they're just ready to go any second. Yeah, sure, they have the revival bugs, but it's like now they only got like one left now, I think. So they got to be smart about it. You're muted, Danny.
Sorry, let me address this guy because I'm about to make him look stupid. He said, why doesn't he turn SSJ as the most smooth brain question Dragon Ball fans ask? Now, the reason why I addressed him is because this is what he said originally. Goku instantly turning Super Saiyan makes zero sense. He never immediately turned Super Saiyan. The reason, let me teach you about Dragon Ball Black Heisenberg. Let the master teach the student. The reason as to why Goku does not turn Super Saiyan in his fights and goes base form first is because he wants to conserve energy and test his opponent to see how hard his opponent hits and how good of a fighter he is, right? This was not a situation where it was a martial arts battle. This was a whole ass fucking army against a bunch of people, and they're back there, fucking behind the rocks, worried about shit, when Goku could have teleported behind them and wiped them all out in one shot. And it would have been 1 second, bro. And it's over.
Yeah.
What about this one, bro? Why don't you address this, Heesh?
Danny is okay. Well, I will say this is that Danny, I does think have some times where he can be a little bit irritable, but he doesn't have an ego like people specifically say he is. I like say that he does. I think that it's just one of those.
No, I was fucking joking, you dumbass. I was fucking joking when I
told
said
me to
that
explain
the master.
it.
No, I'm not talking to you. I was joking when I said the master's gonna teach you. It's sarcasm, bro. Learn get a fucking funny bone, dude.
I didn't know that that's what he was talking about.
All right, I don't care. Let's get to. I'm not gonna let these people try and. Dude, it doesn't make sense. Goku could have finished it fast. End of story. Hugo says, think they will finally move past the end of Z. We get that question once every like 3 weeks, right? I don't know. I mean, I say the same thing every time. They should, but I don't know if they will. What do you think?
Maybe after maybe when Dragon Ball Super connects to Daima, the connection to Daima will take place after the end of Z. That would be ideal, I think.
I hope so.
I don't know.
I hope so. I don't know either, but I hope so. I hope so. That's my answer. I hope so. All right. Robert Wolf says, when Goma is no longer Demon King and Toa takes over as queen, I think you mean Rinsu, but I gotcha. In his store, Go-Mart, is his store Go-Mart going to be rebranded To-Mart? See what I did there? That would be awesome, and that's something that Toriyama would do. So,
I can see it like Walmart.
Yeah. Well, I can see that. But also, Jared here, I agree with him. I don't understand why they slow down when you expect things to pick up. I agree with that. Like, I agree with it. I'm literally telling you that even though I like Daima, right, it's not perfect. It has flaws. And I would be a liar if I came on here and every week praised how much like Daima's great when it's not. It has had great episodes. It's had phenomenal episodes, right? But not every episode is going to be a banger. And the last 3 weeks, I actually understand people's concerns. Now, I think the next 5 episodes are the most important ones. I think the next 5 episodes absolutely have to stick the landing. Not only do we have to see all the storylines close up, but we have to see this final battle, right? This final battle needs to be like one of the all-time greats. You understand what I'm saying? Like it has to be, I'm not saying it has to be better than Goku versus Vegeta or Goku versus Frieza or anything from the past, or even, I think it has to be at least as enjoyable as like the Broly movie, close to it in the sense of like just the choreography and the madness of it, or else people I think are going to be leaving Daima saying it was a letdown. I think that when Daima's over and we all go back and look at the entire thing, right? I think that is, if you have a good ending, I think it can work. What do you think?
I think that it's one of those things where at the end of the story, we're gonna see it's gonna be a blast of a fight. Like I don't think that Dragon Ball has really ever had disappointing endings. Maybe you could say like that was
the Future Trunks arc. That's about it, right?
The Future Trunks arc, yeah. But I'm talking about like in overall, like anime stories. Like when Dragon Ball Super ended, it ended with the end of the Tournament of Power, and for all intents and purposes, I did think that it probably had the weaker endings, but it wasn't a bad ending. It was a good ending. It had a cool finale to it, and we saw like things go peaceful again, and then things continued on. And then when it came to Dragon Ball GT, it's whatever. Like you say whatever you want about GT, but the ending of GT was good.
Yes, I was gonna say that, and that's what K-Man said. If the ending of GT is good, the ending of Daima should be good too.
Yeah, and now when it comes to the end of Z, Now, I wouldn't say. I think that the end of Z is probably what a lot of people was criticized, that it left more to be desired. But as an ending, I wouldn't call it a bad ending. It just made the people just still wanted more. And the same could so overall, like Dragon Ball has never really had a history of having bad endings to their animes, and so that's why I don't see that really being an issue here with Daima. Like 5 episodes is still a lot that they can pack in and really work a lot with.
I want to highlight this comment right here. And then I'm going to actually, before we get to this comment, Black Heisenberg, who I mentioned earlier, made a great point here. Daima has been excellent. People are ungrateful. I agree with you. There's a lot of fans who are very ungrateful. I saw a comment today from a guy who was like, can we move on from this? And I was like, so do you want me to stop reviewing the show at episode 15 and just not watch the final 5 episodes? Why would I fucking do that? Like, why? That would be, you know what that's like? Because people have this weird idea that Dragon Ball Z was flawless. To me, one of the worst episodes of DBZ is Bulma with the fucking crabs going underwater. Can you imagine if I'm watching DBZ and I see that episode and I go, you know what? I'm done with DBZ. You know what I just missed? The Ginyu Force, Goku arriving on Namek, Vegeta and Piccolo's battles with Frieza, Goku's battle with Frieza because of a couple of bad episodes. If that's what it takes for you to drop Daima, bro, then I question your fandom, bro. If it's if there's like a string of bad episodes, like if the next 3 episodes are garbage, then I can understand if it's like 6 episodes. But these 3 haven't even been that bad. Like, yeah, they've got problems, but they haven't been like I don't understand. What I don't understand is what people were expecting. Like, not every episode's going to hit. And I'm criticizing. I've criticized Daima, and I'm not going to just sit here and be like, see, here's the issue. If I sit here and praise every episode, people are going to think that I'm a fucking fanboy or a shill. But if I shit on every episode, they're going to sit there and say that I'm fucking a hater. And so you can't win. So you can't win. You can
be critical, but you're not shitting on stuff. I don't think that you've been really like that with Daima at all.
I've never been like that with Super either. If I don't like something, I will tell you I don't like it. And if I do, I do. And
but here's the thing. I will say this.
Wait, I'm the first one to tell you that the last 3 episodes haven't been that great. But that doesn't mean I'm going to drop the fucking show. Like, if you're dropping the show now with 5 episodes left, like, you're not even going to see it through the end. Is it really that bad, bro? Is it really that bad? Go watch The Acolyte, and then you tell me if Daima's that bad, bro.
I think that Daima is just one of those stories where a lot of people, the Dragon Ball fandom, has had the opportunity to show that they're not one of those people that just all they like is the cool fights. The cool fights are the fantastic moments, right? Usually, like when we have story and we have things going on, the pacing is not going in the direction that people want it to be. They're like, it's okay, it's fun, or we're getting lore drops and like, oh, it's okay, it's whichever. But then as soon as we get like a fight, like Goku versus Tamagami 3, it's the coolest fight ever. This Dragon Ball Daima is the shit, bro. Like, everyone loves Dragon Ball Daima, and then it slows down for a little bit because, of course, not the story's not focused on fighting. They're focused in on other stuff. And then next thing Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 3. He fights Tamagami number 2. Oh my gosh, Dragon Ball Daima is the best thing ever. Then it slows down a bit. Oh, this show sucks. Like, you're gonna have high moments, and we're gonna have cases later in Daima that we're certainly going to enjoy.
Yeah, and this I agree with 100%, and this is undoubtable. Now, obviously, we haven't seen the last 5 episodes, but the first 15 episodes of Dragon Ball Super, bro, that fucking Battle of Gods arc, if you really believe that's better than Daima, bro, we're just on a different page. Now, once again, I want to reiterate my point. Some people love the last episode. Other people hate it. That's fine. I'm not here to stop people from thinking what they want to think. Have your opinions. You can like it. You can hate it. Whatever you want, right? But to drop the show and just stop watching it because of the last 3 episodes, you've sat through way worse episodes. Motherfucker sat through 27 episodes of Super before a new arc started, a movie recap. So you're telling me that you can sit through 27 snore fests of Dragon Ball Super and not 3 weird episodes of Daima or less good episodes of Daima? What the fuck kind of fan are you, bro? Yeah, I'm not saying these episodes were fucking the second coming of Christ, but dude, 27 episodes of Daima, right? Oh, well, I'm sorry, of Super. Well, now we finally get to Universe 6. Let's see what the last 5 episodes that's what I'm saying is that you can have your opinion, but to drop the show now is very weird. Let's get to these super chats, bro. Robert Wolf. Oh, I did that one already. Blah.
I actually do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Real quick. Okay. So I will say so far, for the highs that are Super, do you think that we enjoyed the highs of Dragon Ball Super even more because the bar when it came to the beginning of the series was set so low? Like we've had such low bars, and so those high points feel legendary.
No, I think what happened was Dragon Ball Super was the first new Dragon Ball show in like fucking 20 years or whatever. And I think people stuck with it because they wanted to feel what they felt when they were kids. And I speak for everyone, dub fans, sub fans. People watch Dragon Ball Super, right? Because they wanted to feel what they felt as kids. And in some ways it delivered, in other ways it didn't. But people stuck with it. And I remember covering Super, and I remember when like the Universe 6 arc ended, then we had the Trunks arc, and that had that bad ending. And then I was like, well, maybe Tournament of Power arc will be better. It was called the Universal Survival arc. And then it was better, but it wasn't like, it still had problems. Like there's always been imperfections. I think people forget that there are Dragon Ball Z episodes that are straight up boring. There are Dragon Ball Z episodes that are worse than the last 3 episodes of Daima. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not defending Daima. I'm just saying, like, to say that, like, this idea, I guess it's nostalgia that Dragon Ball Z was like perfect. You know what I mean? Like, no, there's bad episodes in all the shows. Even the great beloved DBZ, even OG Dragon Ball has some episodes that you can skip. You know what I mean? So it's just weird. Oh, well, dude, it's 20. Is it really? Is it here's what I'm gonna say. If watching Dragon Ball hurts you or feels like pulling teeth, you're probably not really a Dragon Ball fan. You might be a fan of the fights and oh, the badassery and this and that. But if it's that hard to sit through like a 22-minute episode of an anime, bro, like I said, 3 episodes that were not great. They were not great. They weren't amazing. But to say that they were enough to drop the show, like, I don't know, man.
I would say this is that people
we're near the end.
Yeah, we're near the end. And it's interesting because people view all of Z with like the very rose-tinted glasses, but I remember a lot of people had a lot of heavy, well, not a lot, like they still have heavy criticism specifically for the Boo arc. The Boo arc had some really strenuous like episodes, like the pacing was just totally butchered, I would say, because of how they were adapting the manga for how long that was going.
It's a big thing. So yeah, anyways, like I said, look, we're almost done with Daima. I think dropping it now is weird because we're close to the end. We're so close. JD with the degrees says people criticizing the Gendarmerie forces and the tanks don't account for the fact that it is Magellite powered technology. Bulma couldn't even understand the tech. Goku's been hurt similarly in Super. I agree. He's right about that. He is 100% right about that. Like the technology, but okay, he's right. But maybe the show should have explained that a little bit more. You know what I mean? Maybe they should have hammered that home a bit more and told the audience, hey, like this is blast infused with magic. It can knock out a tank. Then in which case it would make more sense. However, that doesn't change the fact that Goku could have gone Super Saiyan to quickly get rid of them and maybe taken one of those revive bugs and been okay if it drained too much of his energy. So again, there are fair criticisms to be made. Like, I am not here to defend Daima. Contrary to what some losers fucking think, I'm not jacking off Dragon Ball, and I'm also not a hater. I love Dragon Ball, but there are things that aren't perfect, and there are issues, and it's my job to be honest with people. Like, that's the thing. You can fucking call me an asshole, an egomaniac. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit what some anime dork thinks about me, but you can't say I'm a liar, which is why when I get called a liar, I actually get mad because I've never lied to you. Another super chat from JD. He says, a fair criticism about the battle is why Shin is hiding behind a rock. This is a story about Glins and who knows what magic they have that could be useful. Why didn't Glorio use his lightning? And that's another good point.
I think that the issue with the episode was that they didn't really, maybe they didn't give off the amount of sense of scale of how many soldiers there were. And so because of that, we didn't really feel as much of the threat that they were facing. I think that the idea when the script was being written is that there's supposed to be so many different soldiers, like a bunch of them that, with that very threatening technology that could, get them at any moment. Because they've shown that, Goku and Vegeta are very vulnerable to those attacks if they were to get hit. And so if they were to get hit, and then a bunch of those soldiers can just team up on them. So that sense of scale, I think, was lost. If they wanted to portray that better, if they had portrayed that better, I think that there wouldn't be nearly as much criticism for this episode.
I don't disagree with you at all. Or if those two blasts hit Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo early and kind of knocked them loopy and made them dizzy, that would at least explain why Goku doesn't why he didn't just go in and wipe them out. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, okay, hold on. Here's a question right here. Hold on. Why can't Goku use instant transmission to get to Dende? Because in order for him to use that technique, my friend, you have to be able to sense energy. And I don't know if you know this, but I don't think babies have a high battle power. Then again, it's Dragon Ball. Who knows?
Pan had a high battle power, but that's an exception.
That's an exception, right? She ain't, Dende's not her. Air Dog says Z Fighters team up with Majins against Third Eye Goma. Are you talking about in Daima or something else? Is he asking if that's what he thinks the finale is?
Maybe. I can see that, I guess.
I think.
Is he talking about the army from the third demon realm with the King Kadan?
Hold on a minute. This fucking guy, let's pretend Daima never happened. You know how disrespectful that is to Toriyama, bro? Like, shut the fuck up. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, he's talking about Ku and Du.
Well, what about them?
He thinks that they're gonna team up with Ku and Du against Third Eye Goma. That they're gonna join him.
I could see a situation. Where whoever the final villain is with the third eye, everyone gangs up on him and he just fucks them all up until they figure out a way to beat him. It's kind of similar to a lot of these Dragon Ball fights when people just gang up on the villains and the villains just fucks them up.
Like Superhero.
I don't know.
Cell Max.
Yeah, like Superhero. Actually, yes, like Superhero. I wouldn't be against that.
We've been kind of getting I think this is actually, when was the last time when we actually got to see actual warfare like this in Dragon? Like a lot of people say that this episode reminded them of Goku going after the Red Ribbon Army. Like
that was the last time.
Yeah, that's the only time we get to see warfare like this in Dragon.
Not including when Nappa and Cell destroyed those military fucking and they went after you remember what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but this is I guess no, it wouldn't be. It's not in that same level. It's not really warfare because they're not using weapons. But the last time I can think of is Goku and Vegeta versus the Cooler Army. That wasn't really a fight. That was an annihilation.
Yeah, right. This is more this episode felt like Sandland, and that's what I said in my breakdown.
I like that about it.
It's very much like Sandland. Foot Soldier, bro, you got one more warning, dog. You're pissing me off now. And I'm not going to ban you, but you're close. You're this close. So chill the fuck out. Let's chill out, bro. Let's chill out. Have a good day.
This dude Johnny said, if you don't like it, feel free to step into the Grand Tour.
or just leave. If you're gonna just come in here and just fucking be an asshole, then get out. All right, so that's too long of a name. This guy says, Jiren fight base to God every level. I don't understand the question.
I think they're trying to conserve their comment because there's only so many characters that you can put in a $2 donation. So Jiren fights base.
Jiren fight base to God every level, right? I don't know what that means.
Who is it talking with Goku?
But it's just,
we saw that happen in Super.
He just put a bunch of words. Jiren fight base to God every level, right?
Maybe he'll leave another comment in the chat clarifying. I don't know.
Jiren fight base to God every level, right? Making you better feeling. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Yeah. Please clarify. Robert Wolf said, I know I have been harsh on Daima, but I have adored the last 6 weeks of Daima. It finally won me over. I hope it sticks to landing. I'm sorry if I was harsh. Well, I told you it'd get better, even though you like what I didn't like. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, what were you gonna say, bro?
I was saying is that someone clarified. He said that Jiren's base level is that of Super Saiyan God Goku.
No, because he fucking blocked Goku's punches with one finger.
Yeah, because okay, yeah, that's right. But that's what he's saying. I don't get it.
No, the answer is no. That's not correct. All right. Speed Punch says, maybe once Daima is done, people will go back and say, you know what? We're over exaggerated on how bad it was. But dude, people saying Daima is bad, like over a couple of I have to think about what episodes have been good and what episodes haven't. I think it's been mostly good episodes though. Like, I don't think it's been like a horrible show. I think if what you wanted is something like what you grew up with, which is Dragon Ball Z, that's not what this is, bro. This is not Dragon Ball Z. This is the most Toriyama project we've gotten as far as an anime goes. Now, are there issues with it? Absolutely. I talked about that earlier in the stream. And I do think, and one thing I will say with respect to Toriyama, his best days as a writer have been behind him forever. Like, Toriyama of the Super Daima era is not Toriyama of the OG Dragon Ball Dr. Slump era. He's an older guy. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I will say this. The thing that Daima's missing is good promotion. I think even if you can like say, okay, promotion shouldn't affect it. The thing is, at the end of the day,
but that's
promotion,
old, though.
But promotion, I think, does affect the vibe that people have going into whatever form of media that they're watching. So when the promotion for whatever piece of media is low, it's going to affect the perception, and people will just not give it the vibe that they're trying to go for.
There's a couple of
people were criticizing Super, and now it's all they want back.
But some of the criticisms are weird. For example, let's take this one. It ain't bad. It's actually good, but the episodes are too short.
That means you're enjoying them.
No. Listen to me. Dragon Ball Daima's episodes are the exact same length as Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super. I don't understand. This criticism makes no sense. You're saying the episodes are too short. Every Dragon Ball show has been the exact same length.
Whenever I've said no, you're thinking of it too literally. Whenever I've said that the episodes are too short, it's basically in code saying, I enjoyed the episodes. I wish they were longer. I want to see more. So it's not a real criticism he's giving here. He's saying he wants to see more.
I hope you're right. That would make sense. I mean, I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. I wish Daima itself was longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wish Daima was more than 20 episodes. So
how many episodes of Super did we have left when we first originally heard that it was going to be ending? It was like 10, 15 or 20 episodes or something, right?
we first heard it was going to be ending officially in like November before it ended, and it ended up, I think, in March.
So how many
So
episodes was that? Did we have?
was it like 20?
Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, like 20, yeah, like maybe a little less than 20.
I'd
Something
say
like
something
that.
like
Well, wait,
yeah,
why do you ask?
because we knew that because it's like going into Daima, it's basically we're having it's a similar effect to what we had with Dragon Ball Daima, except sorry, what we had with Super, except we know where we know the ending of the episode count very early into it. And so we're not like
For
as deep,
Daima?
yeah, for Daima, because we're not like as deeply attached to it as we were for Super. I remember for Super, a lot of people felt it was were very emotionally tied into it because it started to become a habit to them. Seeing Super every week was like a thing that they had, going on. It was part of their livelihood. And then, Super ended. And so, oh, what are we gonna do every week?
I agree with Damien. Leave a like if you're stopping by. I mean, you mean when you say what we're gonna do every week? Do you mean like the Dragon Ball fandom, like the fans of
fandom,
Dragon
the
Ball?
fandom, they were so used to Dragon Balls airing every week that they were at like when Super ended, they were just like shocked, like, oh, what are we gonna do? And I remember specifically when you were streaming at that time, you were telling people, hey guys, do not attack Toei, do not attack anyone else. I know emotions are very high, but like, the show's got to end at some point.
And let me tell you, I would not say that now. No, attack Toei, attack Shueisha, fuck both of them. No, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking, bro. I don't know what I was thinking. Nah, fuck both those companies, bro. They can rot in hell. I'm starting to think you're either bullshitting or I was high then, bro, without realizing it. No, fuck them, bro. All right,
pull out the pitchforks. Let's go.
Says, hi, Geekdom. This is all great Daima videos. I do the best that I can, man, with what I have to work with. Robert Wolf says, I hated Daima when it started, but I liked it as it went on. Funny, once I like Daima, it gets dumped on. To quote Squidward, will I ever win? Well, everyone has their own opinion. You know what I mean? I think, I don't know, man, because like I said, your opinion's backwards from mine. I knew that people would end up liking Daima over time, right? But like, I think people need to wait. I think people need to wait till the whole show is over and then look back on it. We can criticize it week to week. I'm not saying not to, but these emotional extremes people go on, it's not that serious, man. You know what I mean? It's just not. But again, with Robert's comment, it's just interesting how that's not how it was for a lot of people. Chase Davis says, off topic, maybe answered already. Do you think we're gonna get some SS3 Vegito type character with the fusion bugs? I did a stream all about the fusion. I think it was Super Magic Show. Were you the guest on that one?
Yeah, I think we talked about Vegito on there.
Yeah. We did a stream about, so we've already done streams about Vegito and Gohan in the past. However, I do want to say this, and please listen to what I'm saying and try not to react emotional. I'm with 5 episodes left and Warp being asleep, the likelihood of seeing Gohan in the Demon Realm is probably gone. So I wasn't sure if Gohan was going to be in the final battle or not. I hadn't heard either way, yes or no. But I'm just letting you know that the likelihood of Gohan making an appearance in the Demon Realm is not happening. I want to address this because I've addressed it before. Would love to know your thoughts on who you think the last villain will be in Daima. I know who the last villain is going to be, and it would be a leak if I told you. Therefore, I'm not going to tell you because I promised I wouldn't leak on the stream. So now, I did want to bring this up, though. Do you think now, with 5 episodes left, it's going to be a Goku and Vegeta fusion? Or do you think it'll be another fusion with 2 other characters? Or do you know what it's going to be and you don't want to say? Because I don't know if I told you.
I still... The idea that they... So, here's what I think. The idea that they wouldn't use the fusion bugs is insane to me. I think we're going to end up seeing those at some point. The idea that Potara would end up being used. Now, I've talked about like how I think Potara would be like would originally be used like originally when we did the stream. I still think that the idea of them like having Potara fusion makes sense, especially now with Vegeta going Super Saiyan 3, seeing Vegito go Super Saiyan 3 and like, would be something cool. Kind of like, being the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta thing from GT. Like, it's like it pays homage to that because they have the fusion at this point in the story, like, towards the end. So maybe we can see something like that, but to see both, now it's like I'm kind of scratching my head. Like maybe it's just going to be the bug fusion and we're not going to see Potara. I don't know. With 5 episodes left,
I think, I'll be honest too, I think the fusion is going to be mostly comedically based.
Yeah, it might just end up being like maybe it's comedically based with the bugs, and then they all right, screw this, take the Potara, and then Shin gives it to them, and then they fuse. That could be one way of doing it.
I don't know. We'll see. JD says, I think the reason Goku and Vegeta didn't go to SSJ so early is because they still think they are going to face Tamagami, so they want to conserve chi. That could also be a possibility. No, that could be. I mean, he's not wrong. He's not. That makes sense. But again, you have to understand, yes, it makes sense. And we can discuss that amongst ourselves or even in the chat with everybody else. But the show has to tell the audience. We can put, as fans of television, of what it could be, it doesn't have to be anime. We can piece together storylines and story threads and ideas and reasonings for things. However, with something like this, I feel like the show should have had a bit more of an effort to explain these lasers are made of Magilite, or they're conserving their energy for the Tamagami. One line.
To be fair, I do think seeing the effect of the Magilite on Goku and Vegeta is enough. Like, we don't need to have like a lengthy...
But they didn't say it was made of Magilite, though, did they? I don't remember them ever saying that.
Well, just it's made out of some material that's clearly affecting them, and on the way that it is, like some special thing. Like we know a little bit about it. Like it has like ammo for like up to 10 days or something, and it's infused with magic. I think Pansy said something to that effect. This
is an adorable question right here. Why don't you answer this question?
Okay. Let me read it real quick. I know you don't want to leak anything on stream, but do you have a video out that discusses any leaks? So this is an interesting thing, is that there was a video that was put out a few months ago that was talking about a lot of leaks that came out, even like, for Daima. Some may still be, some may have already been confirmed. Others, I don't remember if others like that may not have, but
bro, all you have to do is say yes, there's videos on leaks. That's it. I don't know where you're doing the thing where you go in circles, bro. Just fucking tell yes, we have leaked videos. Go to the channel. Yeah, like that's it. That's all you have to say.
I'm just trying to remember if the leaks are even relevant now at this point, since we've already seen it. So it's like maybe that, I don't know if that video is going to help them.
I leaked what the dragon looks like, and that hasn't come out yet.
Oh, there we go. That's true.
Yep.
Forgot about that.
That hasn't come out yet. So there is that. But I don't know if you care that much about that. I think it looks cool. I've seen it. AB says, you've discussed Silhouette 3 that looks like Dragon Quest villain. Oh, Zoma. But what about the other 2? Second haircut looks like Beelzebub. Yeah, Herms pointed out it looked like Beelzebub, but I didn't see that before I made my video. And I do kind of sort of see that it looks like Beelzebub. So
I like that they're all references to Toriyama's past works.
Yes, they are. And Zoma, bro, Zoma makes me wet. If I had a pussy, it'd be dripping when I saw Zoma, bro. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Saint Fisuto says, I always wondered about how Beerus and Champa could be gods of destruction in different universes if they were twins. Because of Daima, I know, probably. Yeah. It's a little bit easier to swallow. Pause.
They look like
AB,
Gendarmerie soldiers. Or
Who?
Gendarmerie soldiers look like them. Beerus
because
and
they're
Champa.
purple?
Because they're purple and they have the big bunny ears.
Are you saying that you think that Beerus and Champa from the demon realm, like everybody
I don't know
else
what I'm gonna. I'm just saying they look similar. It's the same reasoning why you did the Grand Priest video, like in your thumbnail. You had is the Grand Priest based off of that. We don't know. They just look similar.
No, we don't. It's Toriyama art. Do you think the chick with the hat was actually Degasu? It's possible. I think a lot of folks have said that, or one of his. It could be one of his workers. However, in the next episode preview, we see Degasu with a gun pointed at Dende. I have a feeling that Degasu's going to go to them and say, "Give us the third eye," and then Hybis is going to say, "I don't have it anymore. I gave it to this chick." That's what I think is going to go down, but I could be wrong. That's not a leak.
That could have been a Rinsu. No, that could have been a Rinsu in disguise for all we know.
It could have been a Rinsu in disguise. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Is it possible they go beyond 20 episodes?
Unlikely.
This is one of those.
No.
This is one of those like coping fucking questions, bro. I just realized that you know what this reminds me of? Hey, Geekdom, do you think it's possible they're going to show a silhouette of Moro in the last episode and announce Super coming back? That's a post-credit scene. I'm like, bro, you do this to yourself. People who say that, you do it to yourself, bro. You create your own fantasies, and then when they don't happen, you get mad. Don't create your own fantasies, dude.
They've been very good about withholding information. Like, we had no idea Sparking Zero until the announcement. Like, that's a big one.
You're not helping, bro. You're not helping. How does that? You're basically telling them that, they should think. Why would you say that?
They shouldn't. No, they shouldn't think that. But I'm just saying we can't say yes or no. Like to not to his question, but to the example you presented.
Okay, then I'll say it. No, we're not going to get a Moro tease at the end of Daima. I don't know why you just didn't. Very confusing, bro. Very confusing. Okay. I just realized the three realms of Daima, similar to the three kings in Yu Yu Hakusho, where the earth rule is a part of the Makai demon realm. I honestly don't remember that, but I'm guessing you're right. Do you remember that?
I've never seen enough of Yu Yu Hakusho to make that comparison.
It's been a long time for me, so I really can't say for sure.
I think I only got to episode 20 of Yu Yu Hakusho.
That's a good show, bro. You should finish it. RPT says, I meant each king rules a section of the Makai. Oh, I think that was the sequel to the other question. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, now I kind of know what you're talking about. So that, yes, that I see that, and I don't know if Toriyama borrowed it from there. Probably not. Okay, Black Heisenberg with the super chat. Do you notice a shift in DB fans since DBZ abridged? Feels like they've become more snarky, arrogant, kind of like when wrestling fans try to be the booker. I don't know if it's a difficult question to answer because there's always been a contingent of fans that have been snarky and arrogant. And I've been guilty of that myself. And I'm man enough to admit that. I've been arrogant in the past and snarky. Right? And it's not because of DBZ abridged. It's just that people on the internet oftentimes are snarky like that. I think the problem with DBZ abridged, if there's one thing DBZ abridged did to hurt Dragon Ball, is it's convinced people that that's the only way to watch it and that it's a definitive dub when it's literally just a parody, and the people who make the show constantly tell you to watch the real thing. But people think that abridged is actually a substitute for Dragon Ball Z, and then it's like, okay, you've got people who have seen Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super, Daima, who have seen it all, right? Mm-hmm. Then you've got people who have seen only DBZ dubbed, and they're missing a lot of context. Then you've got folks that have only seen abridged, and it's like you haven't even seen the real show. So, and then because of that, you've got Goku's a bad dad jokes and things like that. So, it's. I don't think it's the snarkiness though. Do you have any thoughts on that?
To be honest, I don't think it's their fault. I do think that there is some sort of shift that because people's mentality, but I wouldn't say that they're responsible for it. I don't even know if it's because of Dragon Ball Z Abridged personally. I think just people over time and just the internet has just changed in general.
Is the Kai dub bad? The Kai dub is the best Dragon Ball dub they've ever done. So I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Air Dog says Neba should have warned Hybis Goma wants the third eye. I don't think he knew. I don't think he knows that because Goma did not comment about wanting the third eye when Neba was around. And I don't think Neba even saw it. So I don't think he knew. And then JD says, a missed opportunity this episode was not showing how Babidi was able to possess Dabura or even showing a little bit of Dabura versus Abura. He's right about that too. He's like 4 for 4 on this stream, bro, which is a lot for him. Let me tell you. You're usually the master of L's, but you haven't hit any L's today. I agree with him in that it would have been great to see how Babidi seduced Dabura with the Majin magical spells and shit. That would have been cool.
That would be cool to see, but I don't think it would have been as relevant. Like, what would that have provided overall to the episode? Yeah.
I mean,
like, I think the relevant information from the flashback was to show, like, I think the fact that Dabura was behind the conspiracy to take the third eye out of the picture so that he can become the next king was relevant information enough. So he's the reason why that the eye was gone, and so that he can overtake and become the next king.
It would have been cool to. I mean, he's not wrong that it would have been cool to see. You know, I don't know if it would have. Like, I don't know if it would have like. I don't know if it would have like I don't know if it would have made the episode better, but it would have been cool to see. All right, so this is the last time I'm addressing this. This is all bullshit information. None of this is true, and I've warned you already, brother. If you continue with this shit, you're out of here. I do not want misinformation in my chat. Stop lying to people. Enough. All right, like that's it. Let's get to the main event topic. I want to get to the main event topic now, which is Dragon Ball Super's connection to Daima and the arc they can do. So Heesh and I came up with three different pitches of how Dragon Ball Super's future can tie back into Daima and what we're seeing here. So I'll let you start, bro. Tell the people your first plot pitch and let them know what you were thinking, why you thought it, and then I'll give you my first one.
Okay, so personally, I think
you have it pulled up.
Yeah, I have it pulled up on my second monitor.
Okay, also let me let everybody know if you want to drop yours, feel free to do so. Go for it.
Okay, so the first things first. I'm not sure how we would all specifically go into the arc. These are just ideas at the end of the day. How they would go into the arc, it's like they're just ideas. So one of the ideas I had was basically Frieza in some way specifically utilizing the demon realm in order to take down the god hierarchy. We've seen a lot of pitches. We've seen a lot of information come from the demon realm that basically led into the creation and of a lot of the different deities in Dragon Ball Super. We saw this with
the Rymus thing, right?
Yeah, with Rymus, his connection to Zeno. Well, his possible connection to Zeno, let's just say that. And his connections and the connection of all like the Kais as well, which we know at some point later they end up having like a tied-in connection to the gods of destruction. Who's to say that the gods of destruction didn't also originate from the demon realm in some way, shape, or form? And who's to say also as well that the angels in some way didn't originate from the demon realm? I think you did it in your breakdown. You expressed that possibility.
I mean, they haven't explained where they came from or the gods of destruction or Zeno. Like, there's a lot left to explain. I mean, we know that Rymus created the multiverse, right? We know that. But what happened after? Because that was billions of years ago in the Dragon Ball timeline.
And in the episode where Frieza fought off like the henchmen from the Gods of Destruction, he expressed a specific desire he had to overtake the God hierarchy of Dragon Ball. And so I think that with him having so much accumulated knowledge specifically of the universe, which is what he's been focused on in the Granola arc, him utilizing the demon realm and potentially invading the demon realm and causing up trouble there could lead to, I think, a very interesting arc. He'll find out something about it that he can use to get control. And so
what about he gets a third eye?
Frieza, if Frieza gets the third eye, I mean, he's already
Black
super
Frieza
powerful
with the third eye. Oh shit.
I don't know how big of a boost you're gonna get with the third eye, but
well, you will know soon.
We hope we will know soon. But the idea, I think, is that Frieza, because he's been very passive in figuring out information, I don't like he might specifically draw characters into the demon realm, right? But I don't know if I don't think that he's going to necessarily be like, the main villain towards that arc. But I do think that he's going to be one of those characters that would, sort of push the plot in a certain direction, similar to how Arinsu's been, sort of pulling the strings in the background of this whole thing, leading to everything to happen, so to speak. Goma's clearly built up to be the big villain right now. Like, he seems to be like the central character, and I think a lot of people are catching on to that. But Arinsu is the one actively pulling the strings.
Well, people in the chat were bringing up that the angels were created by the Grand Priest, and that's true. But where did he come from? That's the point. Like, where did he come from? Who made the rules? Did Rymus make the rules? Like, there's just a lot of things a lot of directions they can go, and a lot of things they can do with that. So let me give you my first pitch. So my first pitch for them returning to the demon realm is if King Kadon, I'm going to assume that King Kadon's going to take over when Goma goes down. That's my guess. I could be wrong about that. It could be a Rinsu. It could be fucking Pansy, whoever. And there's going to be a new enemy that pops up in the demon realm. And because King Kadon is Goku's boy now, I think that it could lead to a story where he orders Hybis to go back into the multiverse to find Goku and bring him into the demon realm for a continuing adventure. So basically, in Dragon Ball Super, like after the superhero arc, or even after End of Z, some fucked up shit goes down the demon realm, and he has to go get Goku and the gang to help. I think it's an easy way for them to go back into the demon realm while facing a new threat and have another big battle there. And it also makes Daima matter more, because that means that the relationship that he cultivated with Pansy and with King Kadon actually means something in the future of the series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So for mine, I think that's a really, like, that's King Kadon at some point. Like, maybe he'll end up being the king of the, like, you're right. I think that the idea of him being the king of the demon realm, like at the end of the story, it sounds like it'd be something that they would do.
Yeah. I mean, he's already there.
Yeah, he's already there. there.
Yeah. So, all right, before we get to your number 2, let me get the super chat here from Tyler Made. He says, hope y'all good. Crazy question, but bro, how do I collab with you and talk DB? I think it would be dope. Would you appreciate the fact that I'm not a moron? LOL, for real though. Regardless, thank you for the hard work, brother. Well, first of all, thank you for the super chat and the compliment. As far as collabing with me, I'm very selective about who I collaborate with now, because during the era of Dragon Ball Super, I was used by a lot of people, and I felt used and abandoned. So I'm very much in the realm of, I don't just collab with random people I don't know anymore. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not going to say never, but rarely. It's very rare. So I did more collabs during the Dragon Ball Super era, and even on this channel, than any other content creator did, and gave the spotlight to people who don't deserve it. So it's just how it is. And I'm not saying everyone, but there was enough of them for me to say, you know what? I need to be a bit more selective with who I bring on. So your number 2 Dragon Ball Super Demon Realm story is
Dark Namekians overtaking the Demon Realm. So The idea of Dark Namekians was a concept that was introduced in Dragon Ball Online. So, some sort of evil Namekians and such. We know a little bit of the history that there was some form of conflict in the past on planet Namek in Universe 7. But what about what happened in Universe 6? We know that all the Namekians, they ended up fusing into two different beings specifically to fight in the Tournament of Power. But what about their history? Maybe there's other Namekians on different planets in Universe 6 that could end up causing problems. And so if these Namekians were to specifically go back into the demon realm, and stir up trouble again, that could also be another reasoning as to like that would connect it. Like I think that would connect Piccolo again, and maybe we'd actually, which is what I've been hoping we'd see more in Dragon Ball Daima, know more about Katatsu, Piccolo's father, and who he is and what kind of a person he was at that point, which would, I think would be a very interesting thing. We only got a little bit. I want to see more.
Well, I think in order for that to work, right, there's no Namekians left in Demon World 2. However, there may be either there are some and Neba doesn't know about it, they're hiding somewhere else, or it could be a situation. This is just me sort of taking your idea and thinking about it, where way back when the Namekians left the demon realm and came into the multiverse, maybe there was a set of evil Namekians that caused problems, but they were put away somewhere, either in a prison or somewhere like in a different universe, and then maybe they're awakened somehow. That could also work. Ancient evil Namekians, ones that existed all the way back in the day, maybe even ones that were trying to become the Demon King. Namekians are usually a peaceful people, so to find an evil one is rare, but that makes them more interesting.
Yeah, that's why we thought Neba was going to be an evil Namekian from how the beginning of the beginning of Daima was, but
right,
you're right. Ended up being just like he was just a guy following orders.
Neutral.
At the end of it. Yeah, he's neutral.
Neutral.
So I think that this concept we've seen there's a lot of like fan fiction stories, like fan animations as well surrounding Namekians and such. But now that we have Dragon Ball Daima, it would give us a lot more context and a lot more plot from Toriyama to work with moving forward to really help establish what their place and what they do. And also I think which is they create the Dragon Balls, but also the more lore than Namekians is what helps tie in Dragon Ball to its specific roots in really just enforcing the karmic aspect of Goku and how and how he affects his surroundings in a positive way with the Goku effect.
Yeah, you're right. That would be the Goku effect. RPT says Whis manga says the angels have a planet. I don't remember him saying that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just genuinely don't remember.
I don't remember that either, but I could.
I do not remember that. Okay. Maybe they did say that and I just don't remember. All right.
That would be a video to do.
If I can find the manga panel, sure. Robert Wolf says, do you think there are other eyes besides this one? I guess he means the third eye in the demon realm that we already saw. I don't think so, because if there were, they wouldn't be so rare. I think the demon realm third eye is just one special artifact. However, what I would like to know is, where did that come from?
Who made
it? Yeah, who made it? Like, it would be cool if there was like a whole ass backstory about like the third eye being like the actual eye of like this fucking ancient. I'm doing what we're supposed to be doing, but this, okay, what I'm about to say is not part of me or Heesh's 3 picks, but it's inspired by Robert's question. I would love it if there was actually 2 eyes. And those eyes actually belong to an ancient evil demon king that was so fucking powerful. Like, he was beyond anybody, beyond like even the angels. Like, he was like the OG demon, right? and something, the Namekians got together with the Glins and did some magic shit and somehow were able to get rid of him, but his eye stayed, sort of like Sauron in Lord of the Rings, like the eye stayed. So maybe then that could be a villain for later. That's not one of me and Heesh's 3 pitches, but I just got the idea from that. You know what I mean?
No, I like the whole idea too of them having like
Yeah.
specific. But maybe this character also made different relics that ended up boosting the characters. Like, you know, in they do stuff like that in Dragon Quest all the time. You got the special
Dude.
ultimate weapon. You know, like
Tell 'em.
the you know, the sword. You know, the special sword, which Dragon Ball's tackled before, but never really to like, you know, an extended length. It's never been like they never had like stuck with the special sword. Like Elder Kai, that sword with Elder Kai was only special because Elder Kai was in it. That's the only reason. But having actual, you know, interesting relics that boost the person's power and makes them into a freak house with a bunch of strength would be is something I would like to see more of, I think, in Dragon Ball.
I 100% agree with you, bro. I always wanted Dragon Ball to introduce artifacts like the third eye that, like, you know, somebody brought up the Infinity Stones, something like that. That's not a Dragon Ball, not a Dragon, because those are powerful, but a different MacGuffin that powers you up. When Resurrection F was coming out, this is way back in like December 2014, right? This is before the movie had even come out. I remember thinking that I remember thinking that it would have been better instead of Frieza training to get the golden form if he tapped into some ancient power that he found that his father told him about like fucking X number of years ago, and that's how he got golden Frieza. It just wound up being training, which some would say is lazy writing. I'm not a big fan of that writing either, to be honest. That's why I say Toriyama's modern work is not like his old work. I had a guy, he's telling me like, well, Daima's not as good as Dragon Ball Z. No, duh, bro. What's next, bro? Water's wet. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be. None of the modern shit is ever going to touch on the classic shit. It's just not. You know what I mean? Objectively. But I do wish it would have been more awesome if there were other explanations, including an ancient artifact. You know what I'm saying? So, my actual number 2, all right, is Demon Realm Cult goes to planet Namek because they know about the Namekians. It's a cult in the Demon Realm, like we haven't seen them in Daima yet. And they wish to resurrect an ancient, powerful warlock like Moro, but different. There could be a situation where in Demon Realm 3, because we only saw a little bit of it, there's a cult that worshipped an old demon king. And maybe with them finding out that Warp was able to allow people in and to go, maybe they figure out a way to finagle a password to leave Demon Realm, go to planet Namek, use their Dragon Balls to wish back one of their ancient fucking villains, and we've got a new villain. Moro would have been perfect for this, but Moro arc's already been written, so we can't I guess they could retcon it, but I don't want that. Let it be a new demon who knows a lot of abilities that make it harder for Goku to beat them. Moro was so awesome in the first half of that arc, bro. When he was able to shut down their transformations, that's what I want. Something like that, where it's not just about who's the strongest physically. I've always wanted something like that.
Yeah, it's always it's a very refreshing idea, specifically with Dragon Ball, when they don't make it necessarily it should always be an allegory for martial arts, right? If that's the central focus. But when it moves away from that and makes it to where martial arts doesn't feel like the primary thing, it makes it feel like, oh, Dragon Ball's transformed. It's even cooler now. They got magic, so they have to integrate martial arts with this newfound aspect of it in interesting ways to accumulate more power. That's always cool. I think Dragon Quest kind of does that type of thing where they have the different magic and the different abilities and such when they have it with certain characters. And it's a video game, sure, but the plot lines with Dragon Quest can absolutely be utilized as a means of what they can do for Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Quest is better than Dragon Ball. Don't shoot the messenger. I would know. I've played every Dragon Quest except 1. So not the first one. I mean, I haven't played 10 because 10 hasn't been translated yet. But Dragon Quest storylines are better than Dragon Ball. I'm telling you what's happening. I'm telling you. Doesn't mean I don't love Dragon Ball though. But yeah, go ahead.
But to add to your idea, maybe if we combine what you said, the resurrecting an ancient powerful warlock, maybe
And
that
it's the eye too.
maybe they created the eye. Maybe they need the eye actually to resurrect that warlock. Like imagine they put the eye on like
The eye of Malroth from Dragon Quest 2.
Oh no, they put the eye on the statue and and once that statue gets the eye, the person is like freed from their seal and they're just like they go all crazy. Like, who has awakened me from my slumber? And then just rewards them with death.
Why'd you fucking sound like the Eternal Dragon when you fucking?
I don't know. That was just. He kind of has that similar pitch, I think, to like monsters that awaken from a seal.
You know, Dragon Quest 2, the main story in Dragon Quest 2 was about a wizard named Hargan who has a cult that worships a god of destruction. This is before Beerus.
Mm-hmm.
And they eventually resurrect him. That's their goal, is to resurrect him.
So that's why I was thinking is that your idea sounds very similar to the premise.
But I didn't steal it from there. But I'm saying it's been done before and it can be done again for Dragon Ball, I think.
100%.
All right, we got a couple super chats and we're going to get to our top ones. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, by the way, for all the support. JD, is this the newest one? Yeah. For Goku and company to revisit the Demon Realm again would require time to pass. Well, that's what I'm saying. Many years have already passed. Since Goku is battled with Tamagami 3 will have an effect on Majins to learn Chi and thus breed mortals like Hit or Jiren. Well, I don't think Hit or Jiren are from the Demon Realm, although did they not say that Jiren's fucking master was killed by a demon? I wonder if that could tie into the Demon Realm, like a literal demon.
That's another way to do it.
That's another one, yeah. So there's been enough time for that to happen. And what he's referring to is in episode 8, Tamagami 3 is practicing a Kamehameha. So that's them kind of, yeah. DJ Ish, Rymus is probably Zeno's dad. He made the third eye. I don't think he made the third eye. As far as him being Zeno's dad, it's possible. I did a whole breakdown on that during the Rymus episode a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. What was that, episode 11 or 10?
I don't remember.
It was one of those when they first got to Demon Realm 2, so probably 10. Yeah, he could be his dad. I mean, he could be. Victor says in chapter 55 in DBS manga, Whis talks about his home world with his father as they see Beerus training with Goku. I completely forgot about that. That was a while ago. I do need to go back and reread the Moro and Granola arcs. I'm guilty of not doing that because I just never bothered, but it is something I should probably do, you know.
I think that'd be a good way to, find more stuff to do videos on.
Well, I mean, I totally forgot about that he said that completely. I mean, just totally slipped my mind. I'm not perfect, you know. All right, so the Rogue says, what do you think Marba's motivations are for creating the Majins? Maybe part of that cult. They are probably despised the gods. They probably despise the gods or demon rule. We only know that she made Majin Buu, Ku, and Du, right? So we know that the Majin Buu creation was probably something that Bibidi told her to do based on what Arinsu said. And then Ku and Du are for Arinsu. I'm guessing that she just does it when somebody wants her to do it. Like, hey, can you please make a Majin for me? Okay, bring me this. I don't know. We don't know enough about that character.
I feel like there's got to be a bigger connection between her and Babidi rather than Babidi just being a wizard who meets her. Just because, I mean, they both have the big symbol on them, like the Majin symbol.
I know, man. They have the exact same symbol, the Majin symbol. Like, that's when I first saw the design of Marba, I was immediately thinking she's got something to do with Babidi or Bibidi.
Yeah, there's got to be more to that. Like, it can't just be a coincidence. Clearly not.
No, but then the question is, did Bibidi give her the symbol, or did she give it to Bibidi?
Or did Babidi?
People are saying, what if that's Bibidi's mom? That'd be wacky.
That would be wacky. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, that's a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, with Toriyama's passing, I don't know if we're ever going to get that.
Maybe they're both followers of that ancient warlock.
The one that I just made up earlier in this fucking.
Yeah,
I just made him up.
I don't know. But I mean, hey, You know, that could be something they can do. They figure it out as they go along with the story.
Here's the way
you're
I
making
see
stuff up on the spot, so keep making stuff up, and maybe you'll find something. That's what Toriyama does.
Yeah, but that could be, yeah, maybe. But well, here's the thing. A lot of Dragon Ball fans have come up with ideas that are absolutely terrible. I mean, just embarrassingly bad, like horrible. But a lot of other Dragon Ball fans have come up with some genius ideas that Dragon Ball should do. And it's weird to me that they introduced the multiverse, right? We have the Tournament of Power. Then the very next thing is the Broly movie. So we're back in Universe 7. That's fine. It's a movie. Then we have the Moro arc back in Universe 7, but there's a bunch of new lore. Then the Granola arc. And again, I think people have been wanting them to explore the other universes since Toriyama himself said in 2015 about Super, I wrote a strange new story about an alternate universe. And we never got, like, I don't think we ever got what the fans wanted. I think the fans want them to actually explore the other universes and see what's there. We're getting some of that in the Demon Realm now because there's exploration, but with 12 universes, there's so much more. And if we keep seeing these fucking Universe 7 stories, you're not taking advantage of, like, all the shit you created. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more writing potential right there that they haven't done, but I think again, like one can say that it's possible that they're saving these ideas for after the end of Z because they don't want to, like, because once maybe these ideas can only be done once they're not in the interquel, and then they can bring the stakes up and do other interesting things with it.
They need to, bro, because it's embarrassing, bro.
It feels like we're really limited, but I don't know if being past the end of Z is going to fix it. But
we need a good story, bro. That's what we need. You know what I mean? We're stuck. It's like fucking move the story forward or end it, or just come out and say Dragon Ball's over. Like instead of clean God and fucking clean my nuts, bro, with your tongue. Anyways, Robert Wolf says, I know I'm grasping at straws, but do you think the cult could be worshiping Mechikabura or Demigra? Bro, the cult is not part of the real Daima story. It's something I made up. I just made that up. Now, if
no, it's official now. It's official now. Geekdom101 leaked
confirms
the cults.
Yeah. Hey, let me say he leaked something for engagement. No, but here's what's funny. If the idea would be to actually take these characters and do it like that, I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against that idea if it's Demigra or Mechikabura. But I will say this, though. And Omni said this first, and he was right. Daima kind of replaced Heroes because all of the Demon Realm lore from Heroes has been completely retconned and is gone. There is no Mechikabura. There is no Mirantoa. There is no Demigra. There is no, like, like all the stuff about how the Demon Realm was created by so-and-so. None of that stuff even matters anymore because Toriyama just threw it all away, which is why Dragon Ball Heroes is no longer in arcades anymore, and now we have Super Divers because they probably figured when Toriyama gave them all this Daima shit, they were probably like, we might as well just kill the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it won't line up with anything. Like Xenoverse, plot hole. Dragon Ball Heroes, plot hole. Lots of stuff now. It doesn't like the plot just won't make sense. But I like the fact that they did that. Toriyama did this.
Didn't you say the cult was in the third Demon Realm? It's a plot pitch. I made it up. We're not talking.
Oh my God.
Do people actually think that this is like?
I'm going to give them the benefit and say maybe they're trying to add into the idea and actually try to formulate something that could work as the pitch because they actually they're trying to pull ideas from you and make a fan and figure out a fan fiction. They're trying to make a story.
I legit thought it was real, but no, dude, he just said he thought it was real. I just said it would be cool if. It's like selective hearing, bro.
They think, oh, you know what it is? maybe we shouldn't have said that this is an idea from Dragon Quest, because then it brings credence like, oh wait, no, if this is something that was done in Dragon Quest and Daima's revisiting older ideas, then this must be true. This must be a thing that Toriyama wrote before he passed away.
All right, let's move on then.
They got to be trolling.
No, I don't even know what to think anymore at this point. All right, Gabby 3006 says, "Do you think Gamma 2 will be revived in the future?" I think they would have done it in the movie.
No, because he died in the movie at the end. Like they couldn't have.
That's why he said revived. I feel like they would have, if they were going to revive him, they would have mentioned it in the movie. You know what I mean?
Maybe mentioned it, sure.
Like, you know what I mean? It said like, oh, we can bring him back when the Dragon Balls work again or something.
Are the Dragon Balls that advanced to the point where they can work with androids? Because couldn't Shenron not turn 17 and 18 back into humans? Like
no, because they already were humans. That's why he couldn't do it.
No, he couldn't change. He couldn't remove no, because they're cyborgs. He could not prevent them from not being cyborgs anymore. That was the originally the wish from Kill, and then
yes, and then yeah, but the reasons because they're already humans. They're artificial humans, Jinzo Ningen. So instead, he took out their
the bombs.
Yeah, the bombs. Yeah. Okay, so Victor says, do you think Toyotaro or Akio can come up with future cool story about exploring Whis Angel World Realm mentioned in Chapter 55, just like Toriyama flushed the Demon Realm in Daima anime? I think you mean fleshed. Not flushed. Okay, flesh.
You read that out, and I did not understand. I need to look at this. Whis
All right.
Angel World Realm mentioned. No, keep talking. I'm not stopping you. I just
No, I'm just saying I don't want him to say. He said flushed, not fleshed. Flushed is negative. Flushed is you flush it down a toilet.
Oh, he probably means the old Demon Realm from Heroes. Because that did get flushed.
But he said flushed the Demon Realm in Daima anime.
Yeah, Daima caused the flushing of the Demon Realm from Heroes.
He didn't say Heroes though. He said in the Daima. Okay, doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's not. This is all right. Bottom line is, could they explore the Angel Realm? Yes. That question is why we even brought up earlier the Angel, like why I was even because remember the guy was like, the guy was like, hey, Whis mentioned that he's from an angel planet, and I was like, he did, and I totally forgot about that.
He meant explored.
Yes, no,
Victor, he just clarified in the chat. He meant explored. Like that's not what flush means.
That's why I'm saying
know.
he did. That's what I was trying to explain. He meant to say fleshed out. That's what I was trying to explain to you.
Okay.
He meant to say fleshed out, but he wrote flushed. Maybe he just got done taking a shit. Maybe his brain, like fucking, he was thinking about turds and fucking. Maybe he thinks Daima's shit. I don't know. But the point, yes, I hope we do get all these things. Aren't like, see, look, he says sorry, I didn't mean flushed. All these things are possible, and I hope they happen. You know, we haven't even gotten to me and Heesh's third pitch, but we still got more questions coming in. And I don't want to make you guys wait too long. DBZ and end of DBZ going into GT is fine, but since Super and Daima exist, are they going to remake the end of Z with all the contradictions? The tough question to answer. It's possible they could add to the end of Z, right? But they're not going to remake the entire thing though. Because Toyotaro already said, go ahead.
It would have to be a slight reboot, if anything, with all the details. Because there's no way Bulma hasn't seen Goku in what was it, 5-10, like the whole time. Like it's got to have to be a few years that Bulma doesn't see Goku, but she clearly has seen Goku.
One of the things that I don't like, and I'm going to say this with all due respect to Toriyama, because this is going to be a criticism of Toriyama's writing. I don't like that Toriyama, when he does some of these retcons, they don't fit that well. Example, people say that, well, Dragon Ball Minus is the canon Bardock story because he wrote it in 2013. The problem with that is if you actually look at the fucking manga, like me and Jordan did this past Tuesday, the Bardock that you see Frieza talking about has the red bandana, is in space, and is surrounded by men, just like the special. When Toriyama went in and changed that and gave Bardock different armor and took away the bandana, he's literally overwriting his own manga, and it doesn't make sense. That's why canon is so confusing to people. Why they just make up their own canon. So like that's one example, right? And another example is when he says shit like when Piccolo forgot Namekian, like that's dumb. You know what I mean? But when Bulma said, Goku, I haven't seen you in 5 years, I think what they should have done is Toriyama should have remembered that, and when he was writing Super, kept it within that time frame of the 5 years. But that's not what happened. So now Bulma looks like a liar or whatever. And there's more examples of this. I'm only giving you a couple. There's more examples of this. So it's something that I think what really happened, dude. I'll give you one more. When Frieza said in Resurrection F, which Toriyama wrote, oh, I can get to a power level of, what was it, 250,000? And we're like, but you were at 1 million. Something. You were at 1 million in your second form. Like that type of shit, you know, that does bug me. Like it does genuinely bug me. And I think this is what I think went on. I think people in Japan were so respectful of Toriyama, right? That nobody went in and said, excuse me, sir, this goes against what you already wrote, because they were too afraid to tell him because he's so respected. You know what I mean? Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I get that. Like they don't want to.
Ryan West just said, I don't get why there isn't a continuity supervisor in Dragon Ball. Right. We need a continuity editor. I agree with you 100%. This is why I say a lot of times there is no canon. Not just because there really isn't, but also because of things like this. It confuses people. You know what I mean? It makes, like you get what I'm saying, right? Like it confuses people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
Yeah, what? I was about to ask, should we get to the final ideas? I got
two more. I got two more, and then we'll get to it. Clean God is off-brand Captain Falcon. Let's hope so, because I would actually not. I would not be against him acting like Mr. Satan. Shaman Henderson says,
Shamar?
"Hey, Geekdom." Shamar. I'm sorry. I thought to say Shaman. Shamar Henderson. I got bad eyesight. Hey, Geekdom, here's my theory. Frieza teaming up with Goku and the others to fight the new demon. Everyone loses their god forms, along with the gods being dead. I like that idea because it would create a lot of stakes.
It would create a lot of stakes. That one of the concerns with one of the biggest issues with Resurrection F was that Beerus and Whis just watching took away a lot of the stakes of that fight. So removing the guide hierarchy altogether means that
I agree.
Yeah,
like they should get rid of the gods. I don't remember who it was that made this comment, but I think Beerus has overstayed his welcome. I like Beerus as a character, but he needs to go. When Goku is friends with the Omni King of the universe, when Goku is friends with a creature that can destroy an entire universe by going like this, the stakes are gone. You have to figure out a way to depower them or get them out of the story. That's the reason why I don't like any of the Trunks arc. Like, there's a lot of problems with modern Dragon Ball, man. Like, there's a lot of issues, and that's one of them right there. That, you know, Beerus should have been somebody who came about once in a while. Like, he appears once in a while, but isn't always there. Now he's part of the main cast. We've got Moro. Goku's like, you know, I'm about to beat him. And then Beerus is like, don't worry, I'll take him out. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, if you got a friend who's the strongest fucking, like, character in history, like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes away from the stakes. So I would like it if a villain either defeated Beerus or put him away in like a prison somewhere, and then they have to actually save him without Beerus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we need something like that to really shake things up. Like, I understand I understand people love Beerus, right? But we need something big like that to shake things up. Dude, if the next Dragon Ball Super manga arc starts with Beerus dying, bam, everyone's going to be talking about it. Like, whoa, they actually did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would raise a lot of eyebrows, that's for sure.
They need it. All right, what's your number 3?
So my number 3 is, since we got a lot of information from the Demon Realm, maybe that would be the time for them to introduce Zalama, the creator of these Super Dragon Balls. I think that we can see an arc specifically with him having involvement now. I don't know if the arc would specifically be revolving around him, but surely have him being involved to give us more lore, to give us more reasoning as to why he created the Dragon Balls, because they all started from him. They all specifically started. Yeah, the Super Dragon Balls, but all the Dragon Balls came from his creation of the Super Dragon Balls. So they were the Namekians were shavings. The Namekian Dragon Balls were originally shavings of the Super Dragon Balls.
But now that they revealed that the Demon Realm came first, there's the possibility that Neba's balls predate the Super Dragon Balls.
No, I think that they were also involved. Like they were also inspired from the Super Dragon Balls.
You might be right. No, you might be right. They haven't explained what happens first in the timeline. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Because Goku's not supposed to know about those yet.
But yeah, planet-sized Dragon Balls, I mean, come on. I feel like those ones are probably like the originators. Like they just didn't know about the Super Dragon Balls at the time when they were telling that part of the story.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, they haven't actually spelled out whether the Super Balls came before the Demon Balls, because Neba is like the oldest. Neba's the oldest living Namekian. Like, he's millions of years old. Remember, in this recent episode, when we saw Dabura give the third eye to that dude, he went in between the realms without using the shield wasn't there. This dude is old, bro. Like, Neba is old as fuck.
That's true.
Do you think he dies in Daima, bro? Do you think he's gonna die?
Neba dying? It's a possibility, but I also I would also like to see the Namekians get repopulated within that demon realm after the threat of, like, say for example, the demon realm becomes peaceful after the effect, that Goku and Ko
some go back in.
Yeah, some would feel safe enough that they're not going to be slaves, and that they would go back in, and it would make Neba really happy to see them all coming back and populating the demon realm once again. But I don't think that. But if he was to end up getting killed off in Daima, we wouldn't be able to see that happening in any future stories.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he's going to die or not. Also, about your Zalama pitch, I wanted to ask you, do you think that Zalama is going to be the villain of the arc? Like, is that what you would do, or he's not a villain?
I don't see him being a villain. I see him being a neutral character. I think that he would be someone that would be involved with the arc. Maybe he would be involved with. Let's go to your Warlock idea. Maybe he created the Super Dragon Balls because
keyword is my idea. People.
Yes, your idea, not a real.
I thought it was real.
Like, if there's like a specific villain, what I'm saying is that if his reasoning for creating the Super Dragon Balls was because of the existence of someone else, like a villain or someone like that, then perhaps he would end up. Maybe the villain, the Warlock, could be his evil half, like the thing with Kami and Piccolo. Maybe Zalama would have like the evil half and the good side.
You know what? That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
And so
we just gave them a story arc that could be 130 episodes, and they'll never do it because Toyotaro's ass. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's asked for real, like as a person or anything like that. I'm just saying these are all ideas that people would love that Dragon Ball will never do. Instead,
Yeah.
we're gonna go see the Clean God movie. Great, bro. How exciting. How exciting. No, but seriously, I would love it if they had to do the split like that.
I think it just makes sense.
No, it does make sense, bro. This is one of those examples where like the fandom can come up with better shit than they can, because I think that they limit themselves too much. They got to get somebody, bro. You know what they got to do? They got to leave Japan and let Totaro smoke a little bit of weed and really like get some good ideas, and then bam,
Toriyama always likes to create characters in pairs. So there's going to be Zalama. There's likely going to be another character alongside them, anyways, that would have an impact specifically, on his character. And
I like the evil half idea, bro.
That's one thing they can for sure do.
No, I love it. It works. All right, so my last pitch is something that somebody brought up before. Actually, today somebody else brought it up, and that is androids made with kachin metal. So we know that the metal in the demon realm is very powerful, and it could be what led to the creation of the Tamagamis, but they could introduce a new set of androids. They would not be the same as the Gammas or 17 and 18. They wouldn't even be called androids. They have a different name, but they're android-like, right? But they're made of this kachin metal. So I think that could lead to a problem. Somebody from the demon realm who's smart or whatever the fuck, and then maybe Bulma would have to figure out a way around that. So it's not like I didn't totally flesh it out, but it's something that we've seen before, but the demon realm really like expounded upon it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that being a thing, like, because the technology that was already introduced in the demon realm, like what we talked about earlier, is something that Bulma, it shocks Bulma. She can't like understand it. So then have androids be made with that, same technology. To be honest, I am split.
But they wouldn't be androids. They would be android-like. You know what I mean?
So like cyborgs,
like artificial creations. Yeah.
So artificial demons, kind of like
artificial demons.
I like that idea, kind of like if it's just like sort of a twitch. Maybe these androids are different because they actually utilize magic and they have cybernetic properties and such too, which they're fusing technology and magic and making it a thing.
Machine mutants like GT. Let's borrow more from GT.
There we go.
Borrow more from GT. We might as well.
It's real though.
Yeah, and if you think that you've seen GT and Daima, you just wait. You just wait. Oh boy.
They're saying the Tamagamis could be made of that. I don't think the Tamagamis are made of kachin. I mean, they could.
No, I said that earlier. They could be. We just don't know. I don't think so, but they could be. Or the Magellite. The Magellite too. The kachin and the Magellite. Those two like ores or whatever you want to call.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the Orcalium from Dragon Quest 11.
Well, that's also in 3. Hugo says, I would love to see a connection between Neva, the Magic, and Orange Piccolo. I would too, but I think the connection is more so between Piccolo and the Dragon, more than Neva. But again, it could loosely tie back to Neva because he's so old. But we know what they could do. Somebody brought it up earlier in the chat, they could literally like have Piccolo assimilate Neba into his body, and then he'll know how to speak Namekian again. Hooray! You know what I'm saying?
Until he forgets it again.
Yeah. What a way to bury him, bro. Thank you for the super chat, all of you. And then Son Kobe says, my theory for the finale, fuse Vegeta and Goku plus Glorio. Oh, fuse Vegito plus Goku and Glorio. Oh, he's saying a triple fusion. Vegeta, Goku, Glorio.
Like Dragon Ball Fusion.
Will have. Yeah, well, that's because the bug showed 3 people, so that's a possibility.
Oh, but that was already a misconception.
It was, but we don't know yet what they're gonna do. I have an idea though.
Goku only got
but
2
I don't
of them, right?
Huh?
I think Goku only got 2 of the fusion bugs, anyways.
Did they actually say how much he bought?
No, they showed you the exact amount of bugs. Like Goku opened up the pouch and they showed how many he had.
I did
Like,
not count them.
yeah, he had. That's why there's only one more stamina bug. Goku used one. Vegeta used one. There's only one more left.
So wait, so I missed that. So what's left? The fusion bug and that's it?
I think there's one
Or is
more
there a
other.
revive bug and a fusion bug?
Yeah, there's two fusion bugs, so you need one per person, and then there's one more revive bug. I think that. Oh no, the revive bug is the revive bug and the stamina bug two separate bugs? I think it's two separate bugs.
No, I think it's the same bug.
Okay, then that's it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's one other bug I'm missing, but I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah,
But anyway, okay.
But I didn't even notice. No, I didn't even. Damn, now I kind of fuck, man. If I had noticed that, I would have put it in the breakdown video. I did not notice that. I have bad eyesight, so that's probably why. Oh, well, we didn't finish the question. He says he'll have blue skin and SSJ4 like white hair, like OG design of Beast Gohan. What do you think? I'm not against it entirely. It would be different. It would be. I think the fandom would like that. What do you think?
I don't know, but I mean, going back to the other theory that we talked about a few months ago, I still think we're still going to see the werewolf in the next 5 episodes or so.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't.
Maybe. Okay.
How would he get there? I don't think we're going to see the werewolf. I think
you forgot stuff you might know about.
I may have to tell you off air.
Okay.
That this may be something I may have to. People are going to be so mad now. Just me telling you that, they're going to be mad. They're probably going to get into your DMs. Watch, bro.
Oh, no.
What did Geekdom tell you? Let me know. What did he tell you? Let me know. They're going to be so mad. That's not fair. That's not fair. Oh, motherfucker. Anyways, but anyways, all right. JKJ. I hope you're not Tony Khan, bro. Maybe Beerus does need to die. He's been fumbled since his introduction. He's been used too much for comic relief. I think he has been used too much. I think the problem is as long as Beerus is behind Goku, it's gonna be like his brother's keeper. Or to quote a great movie, Tombstone. Have you ever seen Tombstone?
I don't think so.
In Tombstone, that's one of the most alpha movies ever made, by the way. Tombstone. If anybody in the chat's seen Tombstone, you can vouch for this. It's one of the most alpha fucking movies ever made. You know who's in it, bro? The guy who plays Sandman, Thomas Hayden Church, who was younger. But yeah, he's one of the actors. But it's got like a Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, like Michael Biehn from Terminator. It's all alphas. It's the most alpha. It's one of the most alpha movies ever made. So basically, in that movie, there's a line where he goes, "I'll be your Huckleberry," and it's one of the best. It's one of the best lines. Yeah, see. Look, this fucking guy knew what I was gonna say because he typed it right before I said it, bro. He typed it right before I said it. I'll be your Huckleberry, bro. Bro, listen.
I've heard that from somewhere before.
It's from Tombstone. If Glorio tells Goku, "I'll be your Huckleberry," bro, Daima's the best show. Daima's the best show, bro. Just that one line puts Daima above Z, Super. Just that one line. Listen, the fact that we got Zoma in Dragon Ball Daima episode 15 immediately prevents it from being terrible. The fact that we got the fucking archfiend Zoma, bro. You know how much I fucking jerked that guy's nuts. He's my favorite Dragon Quest villain, and he made a cameo in Dragon Ball? What the hell is Toriyama doing to me, dude? What was he trying to do with that?
I would have loved to have been there when you were watching the episode. Like, oh my God, it's Zoma!
Bro, I knew it was him because it's the exact same. And I was screenshotting it, and then I was thinking to myself, a very small number of people are going to appreciate it. A very small number, because Dragon Ball fans, a lot of them have never played Dragon Quest. And
Let me talk about this question real quick. He's saying that Beerus has been fumbled since his introduction. Bro, I think Beerus's introduction was one of the best, one of the most refreshing things.
No, but he said
Dragon
since
Ball.
his introduction.
Oh,
Since
since
his introduction.
okay.
Yeah.
He's
Hey,
been
you know,
used for-
he's saying what I said, that he shouldn't be part of the main cast. He should be like a character that appears once in a while, like King Kai.
I will say this though, is that I think that Beerus was absolutely cool again when he was helping Vegeta achieve Ultra Ego. Like that was like that just made him, you know, all the more interesting. You get to see Vegeta's reaction when he told Vegeta that he commanded Frieza to destroy planet Vegeta. That was just okay. That whole thing and that lead up to it
I didn't like it.
it was necessary. I think that was it made it really interesting.
Beerus being the guy that Frieza had to like get permission to blow planet Vegeta up takes away from Frieza's character. Me and Jordan broke this down either this past Mongolian or the one before it. He defended it. He said that he actually didn't have a problem with it. I did though, because the idea of Frieza being so paranoid about the Super Saiyan legend or about the Saiyans revolting against him and ganging up on him, leading him to blow up the planet, I think that is a stronger Frieza. It makes Frieza basically a coward for doing it, but it makes sense for his character to do it. Like, okay, fuck these motherfuckers. I'm tired of this shit. And he kills them.
And that plot line is still relevant. He still was paranoid because he had to ask Beerus for permission to even do that. And Beerus gave the approval. All right, you know what? Do it.
Yeah, I don't like it. He should have just done it. He should have just fucking done it, you know? Just like I was never a fan of that line. So that's just me. I mean, I just don't like it. We've gotten more super chats that I was not expecting. Thank you, by the way, y'all, for your generosity. Seriously. All right. JD says, my idea would be a Journey to the West sequel story. Of course it would. Where time passes and a mysterious wish is made with the demonic Dragon Balls. The wish causes a ripple effect. Even God's Zalama is needed, and they visit the Dragon Realm like AF. Okay, but what's the wish though? I can't believe you gave us that information without telling us what the wish is going to be. And if you say it's the worst wish in history, like they did for Resurrection F, and it was just Frieza,
this would actually be the worst wish in history.
You know what's funny about Dragon Ball is since Dragon Ball has come back, there have been a lot of disappointments, right? I thought Resurrection F was a fun movie, disappointing overall, right? And then a lot of the Goku Black arc had a disappointing ending. Even the Goku Hit fight I thought was going to be better. There's been a lot of disappointments. I mean, I'm just being honest.
The manga, I will say, is like at the very least, what I can say about the Dragon Ball Super manga for the Goku Black arc is that they had Trunks show a lot more contentment and made it easier to accept why he made the specific decision that he did. And going back to the future, like he was the active one who decided that would be the best thing to do, rather than it being one of those things where it was just pushed onto him, like he didn't even want to go about it.
Like, yeah, but that's only one problem. There are other issues too.
Yeah, there's other issues, but I don't think. But my main point is that I think that a lot of the issues that was in the anime variant of the Goku Black arc was much better handled in the manga overall. There was like one plot hole that I think that had to do with the time travel. Like if they go, you know, time traveling, they're like, or after a certain point, they're not going to be able to go to the future ever again. Like that didn't make sense. So, I think that,
yeah. Go ahead.
That didn't. So yeah, I was just saying that didn't make sense. But other than that, they did a pretty decent job. There's aspects I think with both where you can really combine it and get like the best overall variation of the Goku Black arc.
Let me ask you this. Because I was thinking of this whole thing came about because I was talking about Dragon Ball disappointments. Is the only thing that Dragon Ball fans have been unanimously in love with since the Dragon Ball Renaissance of 10 years. Has it only been Battle of Gods, Ultra Instinct, and Broly? Are those the only three things that the majority, I'm talking about Latin America, English speakers, Japanese, are those the three things, the only three things that the fans have been completely unanimous about loving, as opposed to it being like, differences?
Battle of Gods, Ultra Instinct, and what else?
And Broly, because everybody loved that movie. That was at the peak of the fucking hype, was Broly.
I would say that it wouldn't okay, those are unanimously loved, but I wouldn't
think
say
so.
just that. But I would say that people like the idea of the end potential that could come about certain characters rather than the realistic aspect of characters themselves.
And
I
that's
think
the
that,
problem, is that the fans are right about that. You know
but
what
I
I
think a
mean?
lot of fans, there's a lot of fans that really like Oob, for example, but we didn't really get to see a lot of Oob. And to be fair, I think in GT he was very
He was
disappointing.
wasted.
Yeah, he was wasted.
I
But
agree.
for what they could do with Oob and all the things that can go about it, like the potential for his character has a lot, and I think people most of the time fall in love with the potential. As a kid, I fell in love with Z Broly because of the potential that he had, which they ended up actually going about doing better in Dragon Ball Super. There's still, well, other than the fact that he's not really a villain in Dragon Ball Super, there's aspects that I think where the way that I saw Z Broly as a kid was he could end up being a villain, but then could be redeemed. Z Broly was never a villain in the first place. So that's why. So he never really had that.
You mean Super Broly?
Super Broly was never a villain in the first place. So
Right.
he never had to go through an arc of redemption.
What I'm not talking about the character specifically. I mean like the movie. Everybody I know, except for a very small number of people, loved the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly. They loved UI and they loved Battle of Gods, because Resurrection F, some like it, some hate it. Even Superhero, there were people who they loved it, and there were others who were like, we wanted more Goku, Vegeta, Broly. They didn't do enough in that movie. Now, when it comes to the Broly movie, only a small number of people didn't like it. And I'll be honest with you about this. The one thing that those people have in common is that Gohan wasn't in the movie. And I've tried to explain to those people specifically, that Gohan being in that movie, I understand that they're fans of Gohan. That story was not about Gohan, though. Dragon Ball Super Broly was, and I've said this a gazillion times, when that movie was written, if you watch Dragon Ball Super Broly, that movie's about Goku, Vegeta, Broly, and their fathers. That's what that movie's about. That film, the story of that movie, is how the decisions made by Paragus, King Vegeta, and Bardock affected the life of their kids. King Vegeta fucking was all on fucking little Vegeta's dick about he's gonna be the ruler or whatever, made him an egomaniac. Paragus got exiled, and him and Broly were out in fucking Vampa for a bunch of years. And then, of course, Goku was sent to Earth by Bardock to be saved. And of all of them, Goku kind of wound up, kind of getting the big, sort of the more Superman-esque origin. But I like that aspect of the Broly movie. I've always been a fan of it. Gohan would have probably mucked things up. Now, if Gohan was in it for like a cameo, fine. But I like the fact that it's Goku, Vegeta, Broly, and the decisions made by their fathers. Yeah. I like that movie a lot. But that's what I'm saying. Has there ever been something else besides those three things I named? Because Daima's polarizing. The moral arc, some love it, some hate it. The granola arc, some love it, some hate it. My point is that the Dragon Ball Renaissance has given us a lot of disappointments. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. And that's why I say, like, it's not going to compare to the old shit. Like,
nothing's going to come out and be perfect. Even the old stuff wasn't perfect. I would say
that, but it was better. But it was better than most of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
To be fair, though, I like the fact that a lot of more modern Dragon Ball stuff is way more apparent about its themes, in the fact that it's an allegory of martial arts. I like that, we're understanding, it's that I like that Toriyama is much more blatant with that, so that we can, because it's actually, I think, leading us to be a lot more educated about Dragon Ball and making us be able to go back and look at Z and say, hey, I didn't realize this about this.
Yeah,
originally.
but you say us. And us includes me, you, and some people. but not everyone. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's okay. I guess I'm categorizing people with a more, open mind to like, understanding Dragon Ball. That's
Fair.
the type of people. But I'm not saying everyone. Like, us is still
No.
plural.
And unfortunately, the issue with Dragon Ball is there are a lot of casuals and they don't understand what it really is. This is not an insult to them. They just don't understand what it really is, and they don't care to.
It's because the English dub.
That's not just the only reason. Some just don't care to. But you're not wrong. I mean, that had a big negative effect. But it's kind of like, for example, let's say football, right? Football is actually on tonight. And we got a couple more super chats, then we're done. Some people just watch football for like fun and just want to see the games. Others go deep into it. They analyze plays. They know the history. It's like, I'll give you pro wrestling. This is not ego. I'm a savant when it comes to pro wrestling, but there's a lot of folks who aren't. They just watch it for fun and then they move on with their life. Dragon Ball is like that as well. And so, the problem is, and this is my issue, is that a lot of times those casuals end up being very disrespectful. My goal with this channel has always been from day one to take people who are casuals or who don't know that much about Dragon Ball and turn them into hardcore fans. And I've been successful at it to a degree, but there's always going to be folks that just want to see hype shit or just want to laugh at a bridge. Then you just can't do anything about it. Like, I actually told JD that himself. Victor says, also, Danny, in Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 7, Whis talks about the Jiru bird being native to his home world, to Goku. So there has to be some angel world realm based on that statement. Yes, you're 100% right, and I have forgotten all about that. But the fact that you're bringing up Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 7, which came out in 2015, the last time I read Chapter 7 was 2015. I never went back to read the manga, dude. Like, I covered it on the channel, but I just never went back to read it. I did go back and watch all of Super. I've seen all of Dragon Ball Super twice, and the second time is where I picked up on a lot more issues. So,
when was that?
When was what?
When did you go back and rewatch Super?
2019, 2018, 2018.
When
it ended, I watched it again. I watched it with the chick I was with at the time.
I see.
All right. Saint Fisuto says, here's an idea. With their purpose fulfilled, what if the Tamagami turn on their creator like golems? This is assuming they wouldn't die also. I don't think they're like that, bro, because that wouldn't make sense, because Tamagami 3 is goofy and Tamagami 2 was very respectful of Neva, bro. That doesn't make any sense. Like, that goes against who the Tamagamis are. The Tamagamis are very honorable. If you beat them in a fight and you solve the riddle, here's your Dragon Ball. They're not the type to just turn evil. The only way for them to turn evil is if somebody else uses some kind of magic or something to make them evil. They're not just going to become evil. And honestly, I like them. I like the fact that they are, okay, you beat me, take the ball. Even if it's a stranger or somebody from the mortal realm like Goku, you won, take the ball. And I like that. My favorite thing about Daima has been the Tamagamis, dude. What do you think?
No, the Tamagamis have been, all around great. They feel very refreshing, I think, to the premise of Dragon Ball. As a matter of fact, like, I was talking to people in Jordan's server the other day. Like, the whole idea that the Tamagami, the way that they specifically have tests, we're supposed to understand that the Tamagami actually influenced the Namekians as to why they have trials on their planet for their Dragon Balls.
Yes. Me and Jordan talked about that too.
That's right. And so it's just the overall aspect, what they provided in subtle ways. I find it very interesting.
Yeah, they're not going to turn on Neva, bro. I don't see that.
It's not going to happen.
David Kelly said they would be more likely to join the fight against the final villain. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Like, I don't know if we're going to see the Tamagami again, but it would be cool if the three of them, because people were already thinking they were going to fuse, appeared in the finale and maybe got yoked by the final villain before, he's beaten. I don't know. Again,
Someone in the chat said Dr. Gero hacks them all.
I don't know who Dr. Gero is, bro. I don't know what that is. I would like to see oh God, we're getting a lot of super chats in here at the end, but I appreciate it because one just popped up and interrupted my reading. I would like to see the idea of light and dark energy wishes, as mentioned in episode 1 of Daima, be relevant by the end of the story. Well, it sort of reminds me a little bit of GT. Oh boy, because the whole negative energy thing. But I like the whole black wishes thing, though. I do like that, and I hope they expound upon it. I just don't know if they will, because
I think the black wishes is stuff we've already seen all throughout Dragon Ball. Like we saw, you did a video specifically with Jordan talking about how karma is an effect that takes place on a lot of the Dragon Ball villains. Like
yes, that's true.
A big example.
But we didn't call it like white black. We just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, karma. But they're emphasizing that this is what they are. When you have like when you place a white wish, you're not going to be punished, for that wish, right? And the karma's not going to get you that way. But when it's a black wish, then you're going to get affected.
That makes sense. No, you're 100% right. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Look at this one. I swear to God, if I don't get SS3 Vegeta adult, I'm gonna be pissed. You ain't gonna get it in Daima, bro. I highly doubt that when they become adults again at the end of the show, Vegeta's gonna go right into SS3. Hey everyone, look at this. I would love it if in the last episode they become adults again. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 3, looks at the camera and goes, "Are you happy now?" That would pop me. See, that would pop me. That would pop me, bro. If he did it just like that. If he did it just like that. All right. Xavier says, I enjoy Super Broly, but I didn't like the retelling of Planet Vegeta's destruction, that it took not only a fusion, but SS Gogeta to beat Broly. Well, I like the fact that the fusion, I like that. I can't criticize that. However, I do agree with you. And I've said this before, I do not like Dragon Ball Minus. I prefer the original Bardock story. And actually, a lot of people do. So, unfortunately, the problem with adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is that by the time that we get to the Super era, there's no point in them using Super Saiyan 3 anymore because we've got God forms. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta was done in Daima probably as fan service. Now, I will say this. I would like it. Here we go again. Before I say this, this is not a leak or a spoiler. This is what I would like, okay? Because earlier we had that confusion. I would like it if somehow they lost their ability to have God Ki and they had to go back to the old school Super Saiyan forms. I would like that, even if it's just for an arc or a couple chapters. I doubt they'll do that, though, but I would like it.
I'm down for that, 100%. And then they get it back, and it'll be like this explosive finale where they're using it all again. Yeah,
right. That works. I want to address this question. He says, agree or disagree, angels are the most bullshit thing in Dragon Ball. Yes, we don't know much about them, but their power is crazy, and the whole intervening thing is whack. I don't know if they're the most bullshit thing about Dragon Ball. I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I don't know about that, but I understand why he's frustrated, because it's not that the angels exist. It's the fact that Goku is friends with them. When you're friends with a motherfucker who can reverse time and bring people back to life, you don't even need Dragon Balls anymore, bro. Like, so you know what? He's kind of right in a way. He's kind of
in
right
that sense. It was, but with the way that they utilized Whis in the moral arc, I don't think that he's actively now going to be as big of a player to the stories as he was in Resurrection F.
I'm going to say this about Dragon Ball Super Broly. One of the parts of the movie that really nobody really talks about is the fact that Whis was straight up burying Broly by dodging all his hits. Like, like moving out of the way, because all it does is make Broly look like a fucking clown. So he's not wrong. He's not wrong about that. And we know that Whis would have one-shot at Broly if he wanted to. That needs to go. João Petroza, I'm pretty sure you're from Brazil. If you're not, correct me. Since when did Piccolo forgot the Namekian language? I do remember him speaking Namekian multiple times as in the 23rd tournament. Yeah, brother, I've done videos on it. I've already done videos on all that shit, bro. You're right. It's a logic hole. People were telling me it isn't. They were defending it. I'm with you. Victor then says, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is on Steam now. I hope you play it one day at soon. Anyways, thanks for the stream today. I didn't know it was on Steam. I thought it was only on PS5.
Let me look it up real quick.
I might actually get it legit. And then Xavier says,
oh, it is.
Not Brazilian. I didn't mean to say Brazilian. I meant to say Portuguese. My bad. I meant to say Portuguese. Sorry. Whoa, what's funny?
I remember, this is just nothing. It just reminds me. I said the same thing before in an old chat a while back, and I got clowned for it, but it was funny.
What about doing the Portuguese in Brazil?
Yeah, I called it Brazilian. I was like, wait, why did I say?
We need to go to Brazilian steakhouse, bro. Oh my god. Oh, I gotta go so bad. I'm craving it. Frieza shouldn't ask permission to do shit. Yeah, I agree with you as well. Yeah. Again, there are some topics that some fans agree with and some don't. I just don't.
Frieza was literally willing to do the Namekian trials, bro. He was asking to go through them. He could have just taken the Dragon Balls legit, like the Namekian Dragon Balls, which was what he ended up doing. But he asked specifically at first to do the Namekian trials.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Dragon Ball, everyone's gonna have their own opinions. The only thing that irritates me is when people have opinions that aren't well thought out. And there is such thing as, like, one of the big misnomers I see people say all the time on social media is, well, it's just an opinion. Okay, great. Everybody has an opinion. Anybody can come up with an opinion, but there is such thing as like an opinion and an educated opinion. Example, if I'm having trouble breathing and I go to a doctor to get his opinion, he's going to give me an opinion that we can trust because he's got a PhD in this shit. Hopefully, if he's a good doctor. I'm not going to ask some fucking 19-year-old kid, what do you think is wrong with me? See what I'm saying? There is such thing as bad opinions, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people say shit, and this is all like fucking modern bullshit, post-87 shit. Oh,
the reason why they say that is because they can't handle the backlash of them saying something stupid, so they try to use that as a defense mechanism. It's not a real counter thing at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's a desperate means of getting out of the heat.
And I've gotten in a lot of trouble because I am very blunt with the way I speak. I just say, like, I don't bullshit people. I tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. And I think some people don't like that. They just don't like honesty. Or they think I'm being an asshole when I'm not. I'm just telling them the truth. Like, for example, sometimes somebody will ask a question about Dragon Ball, and I'll say, no, that's not happening. Why being an asshole about it? I'm not. I'm just telling you it's not happening. You know, it just, I don't know. It's just that coddling shit. Mm-hmm. But the point is, like, if you're going to have an opinion or a theory, the best thing to do is think it out. Like today we had a fun little exercise, coming up with, little storylines for Dragon Ball Super in the future they could do. I wish they would do at least one of these 6 or even more. We had like 2 or 3 extra ones we came up with in here. So, there you go. JD has one more super chat. We're going to get out of here after this. The demon realm wish I mentioned was to subjugate the gods' angels. He's talking about his theory earlier. I wanted them to target the mysterious strangers' enemies, which was Goku and company. I want the dragon realm concept to connect to Zalama. Well, if the idea is to nerf the gods and to make Goku and Vegeta have to fucking deal with an issue without them, I'm all for it. What do you think?
I see the so that they don't have to rely on them anymore to bail them out of certain situations. But also, I wanted to mention
it. That's it.
I did actually want to mention this. I can also see a situation in which Whis, if they were to go about it like this would be interesting. Imagine if Whis reversing time actually ended up making things worse. It would actually add more stakes. They can actually flip that and make it to the benefit of the overall story. Like, I don't know. Let's
I
say
would need an example, I think.
so. Let's say that Beerus went and like maybe Goku went and like killed. I don't know. Someone gets killed, right? But in the process of that, a planet that should not have been destroyed gets destroyed. So Whis has to revive that, and it brings back the villain that they're fighting. So that would mean, things. Okay, they have to figure out a different way to go about it. Plus, that would also make it
Okay.
to okay, Whis can only do the do-over one time after and it refreshes after a little bit. So that would immediately remove its abilities from taking place within the story.
Okay. Fair. All right, this again. I really feel like Daima's like a different universe than the Super story. Like, why didn't Vegeta go Super Saiyan 3 when he went to get Beerus? Look at my screen right now, brother. Here's how you want to know the answer to that? Look, here's my channel. Go to videos, right? And then you go right here. The truth about Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta explained. 130,000 views. If you want an answer to that question, my friend, you should watch this. In fact, what I think you should do is watch all the breakdown videos, because oftentimes I'm asked questions that I've already answered in these videos. And this video took me legitimately 9 hours to edit. I was working on this shit all fucking day. So if you want to know why he didn't go Super Saiyan 3, that's the video to watch. It's not because Daima's in a different universe or any of that coping shit. It's not. It's, I don't know who the hell started that.
Twitter people.
Huh?
Facebook people.
Yeah, it has to be. Oh, Dragon Ball Daima is a different canon. What the fuck? And I mean, I said before Daima started that's before Super. Before anybody even knew I had said it. So, look at this. Hold on. SS3 is not a form you can tap into because of rage. It's skill-based. Yeah. All that stuff is covered in that video. So
100%. And Vegeta, like more often than not, was even like, he was cautious originally about even fighting Beerus. So for him to like tap into that through rage, he's not going to tap into 3. He tapped into what Trunks did when he fought Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Doesn't ROF have 5 different continuities? No. Dragon Ball Super has 3 different canons as a whole. And that's unarguable. You can't argue this. There's the manga, there's the movies, and there's the anime. What happens in the manga does not correlate with what happens in the movie and does not correlate with what happens in the anime.
Well, the manga doesn't even apply to Resurrection F because they never adapted that in the manga.
But it happened, though. The events happened. Those events happened. We just didn't see how they played out in the manga, but those events happened. It's confirmed. So when you look at Battle of Gods, you've got the movie, the manga, and the anime. So when somebody says that the anime is more canon, I start thinking, why would you say that if the anime is the one out of the 2 that Toriyama didn't do anything on? So it goes back to there is no canon. People make up their own canon because they don't know any better.
You know what
the Japanese don't fucking care.
You know where I think at least one of the other 2 continuities come from? Like what they're saying that isn't
the video games?
Kakarot, yeah. That's it.
Well, the video games is totally its own continuity.
Like they didn't even go with Battle of Gods was weird in the video games. I didn't even play it in Kakarot, but they just get teleported to Beerus's planet. And because Beerus didn't want to bother going to Earth to go.
Isn't the Universe 6 Xenoverse story also different, right?
I don't remember. I've never played those.
I didn't either. By that time I was already.
Xenoverse is different all over the place. They're doing timeline stuff.
But what I find weird is, again, people try to mix the canons. Like, oh, well, there's Heroes and Xenoverse, and none of that has anything to do with the anime or manga. I remember people were theorizing that Moro and Granola.
Xavier, you're getting Resurrection F confused with the special that was taking place with on the TV airing of Resurrection F. They had the Future Trunks special connected with that, but it doesn't actually tie in story wise.
Nor does that even have anything to do with Resurrection F, because it was Goku and Frieza on Namek fighting. Yeah, you gotta stop. I don't know where you're hearing shit from, brother, but that is not correct. Anyways, I'm out. Thank you, Heesh, for stopping by. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Had a good time today. I enjoyed today's stream. I think we had some pretty cool stuff. And wait a minute, hold on. Manga, anime series, and movies are the main canons. Sure, but there is no main canon because you can't have 3 of them, and that's the point. That's why I say there is no canon. So, anyways, doesn't matter. Y'all have a good one. Legit have a good one. Join us Tuesday. Me and Jordan are going to go over Goku versus Frieza Super Saiyan. Heesh, do you want to plug anything?
Okay, make sure you guys check out my channel. I think there's a link already in the description of the chat down below. Thank you guys and also check out the Plastic Power podcast. It's a series between me, Daredevil 19, and Champ Animations. Geekdom actually joined us for an episode very recently. So if you're interested in checking us out, there's a link to Daredevil 19's channel.
I did an episode with them where I was so fucking high that the next day I forgot that I even did it.
You can't even remember it.
I can't remember. The only thing I remember is I was talking about Dragon Ball fans and One Piece fans and how they had to shut the fuck up. And then you're like, but they started it. And then I was like, no. And then I said something like, are you trying to, what was it? Teachers pet me? That's what I said, right? Something.
Yeah. What I was talking about was that the One Piece fans, and this is what I was specifically trying to focus on, is that they're actively trying to bait the Dragon Ball fans. I'm not.
Some of them are.
Yeah,
some of them are. Right.
I agree, and I agree with you on what they said, but I'm not trying to teachers petting because I'm showcasing what specifically, like, I find interesting is that why do the One Piece fans feel so intimidated by the Dragon Ball fans that they constantly feel the need to bait out the Dragon Ball fans and fight with them on Twitter by saying stupid things like Red Rock is more iconic than the Kamehameha, or
Luffy's Gear 3 or Gear 5 is more iconic than Super Saiyan.
It broke the internet. Like, oh, Gear 5 broke the internet. It didn't even crash any of Crunchyroll servers.
Well, okay, but hold on. The Crunchyroll servers they have now are not the same ones that Super was on the air.
Or they were trying to base it based upon likes on the Crunchyroll app.
Yeah, All right, this will be the last thing. He says, based on what you know about it, how do you feel about Goku's new form? Since you said it'll be divisive.
What new form?
Well, the new form he's getting in Daima, but I didn't say what it was or how it looks like.
Oh.
I like it. I'm okay with it. I like it. It's not so much about him getting a new form. It's more about what they do with it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not just him getting a new form. There's too many forms of Dragon Ball already. It's more so what he does with it and how it plays out. That's what I'm waiting for. So, anyways, y'all, have a good one. Take care of yourselves and each other. See you real soon. Bye.